Well, a good Saturday morning to you, and welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we're going to talk about a Christmas gift for the reading racer.
All right.
I dreamt that up. I thought that was pretty good. Jeff has a segment on leasing versus buying an electric vehicle. Conrad has the racing calendar and car clinic. And later we have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. It's all just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday morning, the last day for daylight savings time.
Oh, man. I'm not doing it.
Oh, we fall back tonight?
No,
Yeah.
you spring
Tomorrow
back.
night.
We fall back tonight. Oh, actually,
Yeah, it is.
Tomorrow
Today is Saturday. I forgot.
So I get an extra hour's sleep. Didn't you forget today was Saturday?
how
Brown water.
did you have brown water last night, Mars?
No, this morning on the way in.
I drank it driving. That's good. That's always good. Okay, well, at any rate, so we started off with a bang already. We tested the system, and everything was looking pretty good when I tested it.
Until Don
Until
did something.
something has happened. I don't know what, but I'll work on that while you guys carry on.
Oh, we like carrying on.
There's no doubt about
We
it.
like that.
We're also waiting for our first guest to join us via the satellite and also whatever-
interwebs.
whatever the cup and string is this morning.
I know a young lady that could probably build us our own satellite.
Yes.
Or at least launch it.
Well,
build
no,
it
actually
too. She
build
could build it. She built it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Katie's in town. This is
Is she?
She is. She's over at her mother's house, and they're wallpapering a room over there.
Cool.
But she was telling us that all of her preparation for the satellite that they're about to launch has been completed successfully, and it's gone through testing and stuff, and that she is going to be going to France in March for the
To
launch.
launch? Oh, cool.
Do you think she could build us a stream deck too?
I bet you she could. Mars, did you do something to this thing?
Well, no, it worked
that's why
earlier.
took-
It worked
that's why I took
20
it
minutes
home.
ago.
I know, and I don't understand why it's not working now, but for some reason, it's not. It's not. I don't know.
Well, it's
And that's
And
going to be a
that runs
problem.
all our
Yeah, it
commercials.
is.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know what the problem is. But
You'll have to sing the Lupe Tortilla song.
we're the tacos of Loma Linda. We sing of great Mexico. Oh, no, that's the wrong place. That's out of business. Never mind.
there once was a taco from Nantucket. No, that's the wrong song.
Yeah, that was a limerick. I think.
Trans-
It's a limerick.
Translation there.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I don't know my music.
Yeah, well, we don't know anything, actually, of what's going on here with anything.
This is
But-
fun.
It is. It's always fun. So we're still waiting for that guest. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to start us off with a horror story.
Oh, no.
Since, Halloween was last week. we thought that this would
Post-Halloween.
be
There you go.
A new marketing campaign in Minnesota has a warning for consumers thinking of visiting a car dealership. Quote, "Don't get screwed," end quote. What's unusual is that the message is coming from a group of dealerships. Apple Autos, which has 6 stores near the Twin Cities, has launched ads on TV, radio, billboards, and social media, proclaiming that it doesn't do any of the dumb, quote, dumb, unnecessary behavior, end quote, that people often think dealerships use to sell cars. In the commercials, customers brag to friends and family that they didn't get screwed when buying their new vehicle. Ixnay on the screwing A, an actor in one of the 3 spots says. The ads promote the group's 7-day money-back guarantee and end with different musical renditions of the tagline, "Don't get screwed." So I think that's good, and I think that's good enough for us all to look that up. It's probably on YouTube.
Well, who did the music? Don't get screwed.
Well, don't do it here because we'll get sued.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Don't
We-
get screwed or sued.
Sued. Yeah.
It's
It's happened before.
yes, it
Some
has happened.
dweeb in Russia will turn us in.
Yeah. So no dweebs from Russia turning us in because we're not going to play the darn thing.
Well,
But at any rate,
AutoNation started that 3-day, 100-mile return back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oldsmobile did it too.
Mm-hmm.
You had 30 days and 500
Well,
miles.
yeah,
to
this
get the
was
car back.
some time and mileage commitment.
so what happens with those cars after they get 100 miles on them? Can you still sell them as new?
Nope. The MSO's already been closed on it.
But on a pre-owned,
What's
it
an
is
MSO?
The manufacturer.
manufacturer suggested options or something?
No, it's the I'm a new car document. I don't remember what MSO stands
But you
for.
could so let me understand this. So I could go to a dealership and the car has 0.7 miles on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even 1 mile, and it's still considered new.
Mm-hmm.
But if it goes to 10 miles, then it's not considered new any longer?
No, it just depends on whether or not the MSO has been closed on it.
Well, what closes an MSO, whatever the MSO stands for?
They report it to the manufacturer as a sold unit.
But it can also be sold as a demo.
Well, demos are different because demos are reported to the manufacturer as demonstrators.
What happens if a customer gets bailed? Because there's a lot of bailments. Hey, drive it for the weekend, come back and buy it on Monday.
Oh, the puppy dog close?
Well, no, that's a bailment. is
Yeah.
what they
Well,
call it.
what it, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know the lingo here.
Bailment
Puppy
is
dog thing.
well, that's
Well, puppy
soft
dog
sell.
close is it's kind of like give a child a puppy and they're going to fall in love with it. Give a customer a car for the weekend. High probability is they're going to fall in love with it and want it, and then you get a chance to put them together and sell them.
Yeah, they're not going to want to give it up.
But a bailment's only good for I think a total of 72 hours.
Well, that's the legal
The legal part
legal
of it.
way of it.
We used to do that all the time.
But a lot of people don't do it the legal way. They just puppy dog them. But in the industry, that's what it's called.
But so
Puppy
far as the
dog.
AutoNation side, they were already used vehicles anyways back in the day.
Well, yeah.
So you could resell the vehicle.
But on the new side, with like Oldsmobile, with their money back guarantee, the car would come back and it would be sold as a used car through their used car program.
And those that didn't want the car, you'd have to retain or keep their trade-in if they had one.
Right. Yeah, they didn't get their money. It wasn't a money back guarantee,
Right,
but
right.
they could roll it into another car,
Mhm.
a different car,
Yep.
vehicle. It didn't happen very often.
No. So is that the end of your story?
That was the end
That
of his
was-
questions.
Yeah, the end of the questions because the story ended a long time
Okay.
ago.
But there's different ways for dealers to turn you upside down and shake all the money out of your pockets.
Mhm.
Different dealers get caught with all of these documentation fees. It's $300 for the title fee. It's $150 for documentation. There's, some of them will charge you for a travel fee, and the travel fee is because the title clerk has to drive to the title office to file all the title documents. Hey, there we go.
Along with 400
Don
other
fixed it. He turned something on.
along with 400 other documents.
Plugged it in.
Unplugged it. This is a Mars wire that I had plugged in that
That HDMI wire?
that killed the audio. But now we got it.
Is that for the board too then?
That's
That's the one for the
interesting.
board.
Okay, well, we don't need to really.
But we know
We
now.
don't have to show our dirty laundry here now.
Well, thanks, Don. We appreciate that.
Well, you especially.
Oh yeah.
Well, you were going to get up and dance a few minutes ago. We're glad you didn't do that either.
Exactly. All right. So we were supposed to have a guest that Mr. Mars had confirmed yesterday
Mhm.
and spoke to him from the British Isles.
Merry old England.
hmm And the book was called The Story of the Tyrrell Racing Organization by Richard Jenkins, forward by Sir Jackie Stewart, who, by the way, I saw him on the pregame show, if you will, from Circuit of the Americas in the Formula One race. I saw him there.
Cool story about him. I did not realize he struggled educationally as much as he did.
I told you that last night
Mm-hmm.
at dinner because the way I brought it up, they have these pit reporters on F1 and they're going and they're doing all their pit reporting.
Which is
talking to
actually
dri-
kind of cool.
It is. But Jackie Stewart, I'm the pit reporter. Jackie Stewart's standing here and the guys, oh, who do we get next? And he's, why don't you talk to Jackie Stewart? And I didn't know that he was dyslexic
Mhm.
until his mid-40s.
Still is.
Still is. But he was diagnosed because his son was undiagnosed dyslexic. and they were treating his son, and he figured out that
and how much he struggled as a child,
Yeah.
and how much he struggled as
bullied
as
and
a
all
young
that.
adult,
Yeah,
and where racing was kind of his way of resolving
his outlet. Yeah,
his stuff. But you got to think, Jackie Stewart drove for Terrell.
We're going to
racing,
call it
yeah.
Terrell.
But they had some pretty famous drivers for Terrell. They had Stewart, they had Jackie Ickx, Jody Scheckter,
Oh, my.
Patrick DePaolier, Michele Alboreto, Martin Brundle, who is one of the pit
Right.
reporters on F1,
Mm-hmm.
Mika Salo, John Alesi, and the Terrell. People will remember Terrell. I don't know.
just give,
They were the ones in Formula One. They were very innovative. They were always playing with new stuff. They were the ones that produced the 6-wheel Formula One
Oh,
car
I remember that thing.
with the 4 turning front tires
Yes.
and then the 2 big tires in the back, which eventually ended up getting outlawed.
Mhm.
They also did some stuff with fuel tanks that were a structural part of the vehicle that saved weight. That ended up getting outlawed by F1 as well. And then they got caught at one Grand Prix. They were running some kind of water injection system, and it was found out that the water injection system was like 85% what they called aromatics. So it was a burnable product. And as they were spraying aromatics,
Uh-huh.
and as they sprayed it
remember
into
those
the
from high
engine,
school
it,
days.
it created fuel.
Yeah.
So they ended up getting busted for that.
Yeah.
Well, I think some incense would have been fine at that time. Don't you?
And then Terrell evolved into the Braun racing team when Ross Braun bought the remains of Terrell, and then he won 2 championships with the team that he bought, and then that team evolved into what today is the Mercedes racing team. So, from Terrell to Braun to Mercedes, and then somewhere in there it was Matra, which is a French company. As well. So,
well, the point I'm trying to make is that the interview could have been better. I mean, he's walking around interviewing the guy that puts air in the tires and stuff. Jackie, you got an icon right there. And who's the Danica Patrick is part of all that?
Yeah.
Turn that TV off.
Yeah, she's
I
not.
ripped the cord out. I cut it. It's no more watching.
Well,
Yeah,
she's
she's-
easy on the eyes, but she doesn't contribute anything
No,
to the broadcast.
on your
I
eyes.
don't think so either.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I don't think she brings the knowledge. Yeah, she's a driver, and she was, in my opinion, she was a successful driver, not outrageously
In her
successful,
own
but
mind.
but she was successful for a bit. But I never thought that she. When I've watched her on the shows, and she's done more than just COTA. She's
Yeah.
done a couple other shows.
She's done some NASCAR stuff,
Yeah.
and
I don't think she brings much knowledge to the show. Michael Waltrip, though he's a goober, he actually brings a lot
I
of
agree.
knowledge to the
Yeah.
show, and a lot of fun. And as do some of the other NASCAR guys. Martin Brundle brings a lot to the F1 show
I agree.
because of
Knowledge,
his
yeah,
knowledge,
the knowledge
as
of
a
it.
driver and his knowledge of the people. Even though when he does that, not the pit walk, the grid walk. He's grabbing people to talk to him, and some of them just turn their back on him and walk away.
Go away,
It's like,
yeah.
who are you?
that's
Well, I wouldn't recognize the guy. Would I recognize him? I'd
No,
recognize
no.
Don Garlitz, but I wouldn't
No,
recognize
probably wouldn't
Mr.
recognize
Brundle.
him. Yeah, but
I recognize the name, but I don't.
yeah, his grid walks I think are kind of fun to watch.
They are.
Because, he ended up. Who was it? Serena Williams. And
Oh, yeah,
That's right. Yes.
He ended up almost in trouble over his attempt to talk to Serena Williams because her bodyguard kind of
pushed him aside,
peeled him
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
it
didn't
was,
see that.
It was bad. I think that
Because
was
the bodyguard didn't know who he was, and
Yeah.
he's a bodyguard.
and he's just showing up with a microphone trying to ask her questions, and she wasn't interested in answering any.
Yeah.
And he's walked up to some music stars that kind of the same thing happened as well. They have no idea who he is, and they're not interested in talking to him. But he brings a lot of knowledge to the show.
I've discovered that Mars is like a 16-year-old with a cell phone. He is stuck, glued, and in.
He's working on the guest.
I know he is, but I just had to call him out.
If you get hold of Prince Charles,
Did
he might
you know that
Here we go.
there's only 5 hours difference between here and England? Not 6.
Well, with daylight savings now, it's going to be what?
4.
I'm not sure.
Does
If we
England
bounce back an hour,
does England
that
save
adds an
daylight?
Did you explain to the guest from England that we're here in the United States on Central Daylight Time?
I think we
Yeah,
need
Did you
to
explain all of that?
Apparently not.
Buckingham Palace needs
but
to get involved in
he's
this.
traveling, and I'm thinking that's where we got messed up because he went to a different time zone, I think. Anyway, I'm
He
going to
isn't
try
gonna be here?
reschedule him whenever we can get our time straight from
Okay.
England.
Let's synchronize our
'Cause
watches.
There's not enough time now for
No,
him
there's
to
not.
join.
No, there's not because we have to. We're going to take a little break right now.
Well,
Yeah.
Terrell had quite a bit of funding from Ford, and then there was a period of time where they were running the Matra V12 engine
Okay.
from Chrysler.
Here we go.
Anyhow,
Anything else?
no, that's fine.
Okay. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We've got more of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show coming up right after this quick break.
Tailpipes and Tacos is back. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, and it's an extra special one. Bring your Hot Rod Classic or Modern Classic to compete for one of the famous Chili Pepper trophies and get a free breakfast taco. Just make a donation of any size to God's Garage and Lupi's will match it. You'll be helping single mothers who need a set of wheels. It's been almost a year in the making, so you won't want to miss Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, donate what you want to God's Garage, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy at 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. It's car show season, and what better way to kick it off than a free taco and camaraderie at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Proceeds benefit God's Garage.
Weather permitting.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
And welcome back to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on this Saturday. And a reminder, you heard the commercial there, that we're going to be scheduled at the Tailpipes and Tacos event for the first time in 11 months out at the Lupi Tortilla in Katy
Next weekend.
next Saturday morning from 8 to 11.
Be there.
Yes, be there. Plan on being there. Now, we're hearing that there may be a weather issue. And so, let me hear it again.
We don't want to hear that.
Nanu.
Nanu.
Chevy Chase.
Caddyshack. All right, time now for the In Wheel Time race card. Conrad, you got to sit up. This segment sponsored by Texas Nostalgia Modified Production. Have at it.
Well, next weekend is the finals in Pomona for NHRA. So going to be a big weekend. Actually all three of the pro categories are still kind of up for grabs. I think the pro stock bike is that's done. I think Guerrera has finally settled that out. Erica is 114 points up in first place in pro stock. And I think the math is if she makes it to the semifinal, she wins the championship for a sixth time.
Mm-hmm.
But at 114, I think Pomona is also double points is why she's got to get to the semifinals. Next weekend is also Martinsville Raceway for NASCAR. Tomorrow is there at Homestead. And then Phoenix, the finale, is November 5th. Formula One is at Mexico City next weekend. And then they're in Brazil on 11/5. and they are in Las Vegas on 11/19.
Wait, I thought Mexico Formula One was last weekend.
It was the 29th.
Okay.
My fault. Yep. I'm reading my notes from last week. And then, but Las Vegas.
He's editing as he goes because he didn't do his homework.
Yeah, I did. So, and the racing season is primarily
All of the
coming
students
to an
in the
end.
class always say that. I
Yep.
did my homework, teacher.
My dog ate it.
Dog ate it.
Susie ate it.
No, Susie doesn't eat paper.
No.
She eats everything
Everything
else, but not paper. By the way, speaking of television coverage, which we weren't doing, but we're going to now, I was really ticked off with the Houston Astros coverage that was on a network that I don't have. Why is it not on regular broadcast television, at least locally, on some station? Why?
It was. It was on Fox
It was on
broadcast.
Fox, yeah.
Pay-per-view.
No.
No, it was FS1
Fox.
and regular Fox.
See, that's not. No.
But they were also on regular Fox.
Mhm.
Fox broadcast. Some on FS1, but also on Fox.
Well, we couldn't
broadcast.
see most of it.
Well,
I
we
can
could-
tell you that, and it ticked me off, which leads me into the whole thing with drag racing. Because all of a
It's
sudden,
all on FS1.
all of FS1.
and it's
How-
delayed.
So here's, delayed.
I hate
And
that.
the other thing that I just don't understand is they want ratings, okay? So why wouldn't you, in your negotiation with whatever network it is, that you have these many broadcasts that are going to be to the public? And when you get to the end of the season, just hang on. When you get to the end of the season, especially. So what they did was the network used drag racing to fill time on the network when there wasn't anything really going on. And now that it's coming down to the crunch, you can't watch. You got to either go to NHRA.com and pay to watch it, or you have to go to FS1, pay to watch it.
Or Disney Plus or whatever they're on.
No, that's not the way to do it.
Or you go to a bar and you watch it, and then you get a drink.
Yes, sir.
So the way it works, it's money, then ratings.
There's also discussion.
But they go hand in hand.
But
They
money's
hurt
priority.
themselves by doing it that way.
But if
There's-
you make enough money,
there's popularity.
unlike us, money's their driving force.
Popularity in F1 because of things happening. They're changing different stuff. They're going to look into making NASCAR races shorter, and they're thinking that will bring back more viewers that
Well,
way too.
I think quarter mile straight run ought to be enough.
NASCAR. There you
So
go.
the Daytona
I think that'd be a
500
great
kilometer.
idea.
It'd be like the Daytona
You have a
100
rolling
or
start,
something. I
come
don't
out
know.
of that turn.
No, there's
Boom, and it
no,
goes.
there's no rolling start. Just put a different gear set in it, put it up there with the Christmas tree, and let them go.
They got slicks.
There, yeah, exactly. And they steer real good.
Left.
Got plenty of room to slow down.
Some,
Left.
Okay.
not all. Some.
There you
So you
go.
could put a bend in that quarter
You know,
mile drag strip.
Back in the day, I was never a big fan of Riverside. Now, looking back on it, gosh, I wish Riverside were back.
Why?
The landscaping, which was none. It was a track that was built out there in basically the desert of California. Of course, now it's a neighborhood.
Mhm.
But
Well, Sonoma is basically the same thing. There's,
yeah, but you've got rolling. It's different, Sonoma. But anyway, time now.
That
Yes.
reminds me.
teacher.
Reminds me. The we talked about
need to
once
make this
before.
quick.
Cutting into my
When
time
Baytown
here.
shut down, some of the guys went up to Lufkin to Pine Tree, or not Pine Tree, Pine Valley,
Pine
whatever
Valley.
it is. NHRA is going to make a stop in one of the regional events in Lufkin next year. They put it on the
Alrighty.
schedule
But
already.
it will not be the pros.
No.
It
But
will
it didn't say who it
Exactly.
was.
Time now for Jeffrey's feature of the week:
Finally.
leasing versus buying an electric vehicle.
That's right. Leasing versus buying.
Versus.
Yeah, there's a lot of takeaways to this. And if now you got to write this down, you got to get your pro and con chart out in front of you. Leasing an EV, Mike, gives you access to new technology more frequently. Also, with leasing, buying means that the EV, you won't face mileage limits and the wear and tear of the fees. With both of these, leasing and buying gives you access to tax credits, Conrad. Who doesn't like those? The world of electric vehicles is still in its infancy, and the vehicles increased 50% since 2022.
The cost of the new ones.
No, the percentage of people buying them has increased 50%.
All right.
So signing off on long-term ownership of a vehicle seemingly to a new market is kind of risky, especially when you don't know how much the parts are going to be, the maintenance that's going to happen, and the actual age of the vehicle. When do you have to turn it in? So while buying an EV is best for some drivers ready to commit, it's not for everyone. Leasing an electric vehicle may be beneficial, Conrad, if you want to try out maybe a hybrid rather than an EV. If you drive frequently and do not have access to charging stations in your area, leasing may be a good way to go. Test the waters without a commitment of long term, sort of like marriage, Mike. And there are other benefits, drawbacks to leasing versus buying.
Shut up.
This should also play a role in your decision when it comes to making a decision on any hybrid. So write this down, Mike. Pros of leasing an EV: you get vehicle warranty, you get a lower monthly payment, you get the newest tech features around, and I'm going to tell a quick story after this about Cadillac. The cons, Mike, to leasing an EV is no equity. You have difficulty to the end of your lease. You've got, if you can't do it early, then don't do it.
But that no equity and difficulty is standard for any lease.
Right. It
not
is.
just EVs.
Exactly. But that all plays into it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what an EV is or a tractor. Vehicle restrictions. You have certain restrictions on that as well. Now, buying an electric vehicle, the pros of buying, you have full ownership, which we all have, no vehicle restrictions, and tax incentives and credits. So that all comes into play as well. The cons to buying an EV: expensive upfront cost, rapidly changing technology. You get downloads all the time. Potentially steep depreciation values, or non-value it should be. So that's part of it as well. The bottom line is the best approach to leasing or buying an EV is the same for anything. Shop. Do your homework for a conventional vehicle or for an EV. For some, the benefits of the newest available technology is the way to go, while others, getting behind the wheel of a vehicle with the confidence and incentives to make more sense of ownership. So do your homework. There's also, for EVs, there's also what they call green loans. If you have an EV, they'll give you different rates for a green vehicle. Now, I was at the Cadillac dealership. I was at Bayway this past week doing some other things, and I talked to one of the service writers about it. I said, that Lyriq is gorgeous. Man, I want one. I want two of them. He goes, no, you don't. He goes, there's an update like every other day, downloading. There's always some kind of failure of this technology and that. He goes, you don't want that. So, sorry, Cadillac. I had to put that out there. Yeah.
Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. All you have to do is look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com, and we are live on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts at your fingertips and over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Hey, Houston, America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars. The ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics. See Lone Star Throwdowns, Texas-sized truck spread. And don't miss the traditional rod and custom section. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, see wild, high-flying freestyle motocross stunt shows. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend on the celebrity stage presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. Friday, meet AEW Tag Team Superstars, the Lucha Bros. Saturday, it's Noel G, Hector from the Fast and Furious. Sunday, it's Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama, November 23rd through 26th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
From the fabulous Sugar Shack, it's the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, live racing from Houston Motorsports Resort with Richard Tomlin. Conrad will have the In Real Time Car Clinic. We'll also have this week's auto news. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Right now, let's go down to Angleton, Texas, and talk to Richard Tomlin. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Well, very well, thank you. Richard is he's the off-road road racing guru,
Hill climbing.
Executive of SCCA.
Yeah, he does everything.
And he's a BMF.
We like playing with cars. That's all.
Clearly, you do.
So you're playing with lemons this weekend.
Yes, we're playing with lemons this weekend. We've got 110 cars.
Oh, wow.
And I think we're 14th year, so 110 cars, 5 drivers per car.
Okay,
550 drivers on site.
I love the Gremlin.
Richard,
The Gremlin's amazing. The AMC is even better.
that's AMC. Let's talk about what exactly is the 24 hours of lemons.
So 24 hours of lemons is you and 4 or 5 of your buddies getting together, buying a $500-ish car, and then you start adding safety equipment that doesn't count towards your $500. You put some decent tires on it. You come out on a Saturday. We run a 9-hour race, and then we'll turn around Sunday, and we'll run like a 6 or 7-hour race. And then we all have a bunch of beer and celebrate and go home and try and make our cars faster for next time.
So the 24 hours nomenclature.
It's for a $7 trophy, right? So
the 24 hours part of this is just 24 hours of fun and camaraderie on a racetrack with a bunch of crazy people, not the actual
Correct.
race itself.
yeah, they still hold one event a year that is what we call a true 24. And that race, of course, is always amazing and booked out with people. But what we find is 24 hours is really hard for an amateur team to pull off.
In
A,
a
to keep a
$500
car
car.
running. B, to keep your drivers on track. So it's a challenge.
Do you have a lot of cars that go off the track there?
You will have some. You always do. You have some like that show up with like BMWs with LS motors shoved in them. They find themselves off track from time to time. Yeah, it happens.
Well, right now my mind is set on a 125 horsepower straight 6-cylinder engine out of the car itself, an American Motors fine piece of work out there.
There's a couple of those. Now, I will say the AMCs are far from stock. They're probably making more power than the GM LS right here. But they get a whole lot less shit over it because it is an LS.
All right. Well, how am I supposed to compete with my $500 car? And then,
Well, so it's they've got this thing called judging that happens. So once you get your car teched, and they said, okay, you're legal, you're safe, then you go to what they call BS judging. And that's where you present your case on, hey, did this guy really spend $500 or did he spend $5,000? And like I was just over talking to a team a few minutes ago, and they were assigned 5 penalty laps in Class A. Another team was assigned 100 penalty laps. So there's no way they can win the race, but they still get to go out there and be in the race.
So
do they put all these cars on the track at the same time?
Yep, 110 cars and 2.4 miles of road course.
Now, is this
it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
rolling start?
You should fire up the Corvette and make a trip down here.
Hell no. No, this would be like getting on 45 the Gulf Freeway, starting at Gulf Gate, and trying to get into downtown Houston at 7 a.m.
Not gonna
at
happen.
a high speed.
Yeah.
So, Richard, didn't they used to claim those cars and then kind of do stuff to them, like crush them?
Yeah, they used to have what was called a people's curse, and basically each team got a vote on who they thought was the cheatiest car. And then they would have a large implement out here that would pick the car up and just destroy it, pick it up, throw it on the ground, and tear it apart. And that was amazing and fun, but a lot of people got their feelings hurt. So that went away, and now there's just a promoter's claim rule.
Okay, well, now I have to ask you, how do you spell the word cheatiest?
That's all to you, because that's not me. I wasn't the good school kid. So
Okay, cheatiest.
I'm the mechanic, remember?
Yeah, I got that.
So is Apex got any cars in the run?
Of the 110 cars, we've got about 70, 75 that we've either worked on or put cages in.
Oh, wow.
We actually working on 2 last night until about 10:30 to get them back in the race. So we were back down the track this morning at 6 working on a little Ford Ranger as well. So a lot of little things help them out.
You've had some pictures up on Facebook about putting in roll bars and stuff. Is that some of the cars you were working on?
Yeah, that's the same stuff. Like rules change every year. So as rules change, we have to accommodate those cars and make sure that everybody's still going to be safe and fit the rules and be able to play.
So what's sticking out of the hood of that orange car there that you're showing us?
That would be an air cleaner because that's a nice, healthy 350. That's probably the best sounding car here. Looks like an old ARCA car, but I think it's funny because it's parked right beside a Miata that I know was $500 because I started to work on that car. And then you're parked next to a Subaru wagon. And it's just like the complexity of what we have here is what makes it so much fun.
This is almost like a destruction derby kind of thing that I'm looking at here.
Contact is not encouraged or allowed.
Well, not on purpose.
But it happens.
It does happen. It does happen.
So, if it ain't rubbing, it ain't racing.
Yeah, you'd find yourself in the penalty box here quite a bit.
Oh, really?
You're a bad guy.
I got you.
Don't do that.
So
you get the penalty box 5 times and they park your car for the day.
Is the penalty box a physical location you have to go sit in for timeout?
Correct. You go sit, and then the judge immediately decides what your punishment will be, which could be you being saran wrapped to the top of your car and driven around saying that you're a crappy driver.
We call that Tuesday.
Yes. There's a lot of making sure that everyone else around you knows how good or how bad you really are.
Wow.
So quite eclectic collection of vehicles I can see.
Oh, yeah. It's part of what makes this thing so entertaining. And you have to become a master of everything internal combustion. It's not just one brand, one mark that you're focusing on. You're trying to become all around skilled.
Now, are you part of the tech inspection here as well?
I have stayed separate from that because it's in my backyard. I like to have the ones come in from out of town and have them judge what our work is. We do so much of the work, I don't think it's right for us to judge it.
Oh, okay.
So
Those don't look like $500
I'm just going to
cars.
say, I thought I saw a Mercedes-Benz there that you just passed, but I guess that's not in the paddock area. No, there's a Mercedes-Benz in here?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Mercedes has actually won before, old school AMG car. Here's a P71 we actually did a manual swap on recently next to a Ford Focus. I mean, we have all kinds of diversity.
You're losing my concept of a $500 car here real fast.
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz AMG and 500 shouldn't all be in the same sentence.
Exactly.
You buy it with a blown motor, right? And then you put a motor back together with you and your friends over the weekend, and that's how that kind of stuff works out.
Well, you'd have $500 just in gaskets.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, you found some of those on the floor, right? They were in the shelf. So there's ways to make things happen.
I see.
This is another one of the Miatas that gets a really hard time, but it's just a really nice paint job on a Miata.
Well, something tells me that there's a lot of lying going on down there.
Well, I think that goes back to the cheatingest.
I looked it up.
It's good sport.
I looked it up. The's no such word.
Cheatiest is not a word.
Yeah, no such word.
I'm spelling it CHEETIEST.
I think it's EAT, is it?
TDS.
Est. But whatever the case may be. So it's basically your word against somebody else's word as to whether they spent more than $500 on their car, because you did.
It looks like a BMW.
It is.
This is the E36. Not a slow car, but I was getting
You
over
cut
to
the
the
top
AMG.
off
It's a convertible.
It's a $500 car. Who cares?
Reduce weight, right? There was no top on it. This is the cheatiest one. This is your Mercedes C230 compressor. diffuser has been around for years, is just stout competition, and not sparing many expenses on it, in all honesty.
What is it, a Turbo 4?
But it didn't happen in 1 year. This couple of years of production to get to this level.
Is it a Turbo 4?
Don't get me lying.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
why not?
yeah. You could
What
ask
motor you guys
you could
running
ask the owner, but he's only going to lie anyhow.
This is how you know. This is how you know it's true. It's a stock motor. That's
No, it really
stock
is.
motor.
It really is. Now, when we added the turbo,
We added a
Stock out of a
motor.
Ferrari.
it came with a supercharger, but it really is just straight up.
Sweet.
So it's a stock hair dryer, huh?
God,
Yeah, stock hair dryer.
you
Very
know,
good. Plenty
this-
like Mercedes are actually in the event. Yes, plenty of Mercedes.
I think that what you need to do, not that any of us are qualified to drive it, but we need to have the Apex Auto Works in-wheel time machine down there next year.
Yeah. We're working on a car right now, so we'll get together and we'll talk on that.
A black
So we're
Corvette.
working on one.
And drive it,
Yeah, no, it's Corvette powered, but in a Miata. Surprisingly
drive it
enough.
in reverse.
So
Oh, God.
here's the best part about some of these Lemons cars: they are still tagged and still street legal. So people will actually use them to drive around from time to time.
I
I
can
bet
see
you
that.
that attracts attention.
Well, that'd be good on the Gulf Freeway. Or better
Oh,
yet,
yeah.
45 the North Freeway. That'd be my guess.
It's just it is one amazing time with a lot of cool people and a lot of cool cars.
All right, so
Our
what,
And
Pick-
some
our
cars
pick-
that people have just forgotten about.
Are
what
pickup
time-
trucks allowed?
Do what? What flag?
Truck?
Are pickup trucks allowed?
There are some S10s, the small ones. Here's one here. Here's an S10. As we bring that up, they actually do quite well. They're tossable. Of course, all of them are rear-wheel drive as well. Look, and this one's even got AC on it. See?
AC. I like it. Richard, what time
Little
does
duct tape flame.
what time does this event get started today?
Race actually starts at 10 today. We'll start loading cars on track about 9:30, and then about 10 o'clock the green flag drops. We race until 5. $20 I think to get in for the day. But come down and check it out. You'll enjoy it, I promise.
So besides the $500 car, what's the entry? What I've got a car and I want to run it. What does it cost me to get in to run it?
Entry fee to the race is like $1,250. The bigger part is all the safety equipment that you need to make it work, right?
That's a Cadillac.
I know.
So
it's
the
a
safety
Cadillac.
equipment.
That's good. That's the winner right
Jeff's
there.
car.
Yeah. Hey.
And this is Team Orca. The tail fin is missing, but they do actually have a tail fin. I don't know where it went. It was on yesterday. But we were chasing cooling issues on this car yesterday.
because it is cool.
So
Yeah, Jeff thinks it's cool.
And then-
Yeah, it's cool, baby.
peek over here. Yeah, peek over here. The Volkswagens are always fun too.
Okay.
Volkswagen Bugs.
Well, $500 car.
Well, that's
Exactly.
That's nothing.
Throw the right wheels on it. Throw some nice Audi components in it. It's pretty quick. It's not slow.
That's nothing less than a rebadged Porsche.
Yeah, exactly.
So Richard, all 110 cars hit
no,
the
it's-
track at the same time. I mean, they're
Yep.
not classed or anything. It's just winner,
There's
whoever.
3 classes.
Okay.
Class A is, hey, you have a race car. Class B, well, you tried. And Class C, did you even read the rules? And that's how it works. Like,
And
you
if
just
you're
show up
entering
with the light.
lemons, you don't have class.
Right.
Simple classification. You know what you're doing. You kind of have an idea. And what the hell?
You know what would be really fun is for that place to have a circle track. And so if you drill it down, because you couldn't get 110 cars on a half-mile track. That'd be impossible to do.
Yeah.
But you drill it down and you get 50 of those cars on a circle track, 3/8 mile, half mile, whatever, and let them go. Oh
That'd be
my
too much
God,
fun.
that would be too much fun. That would be a rubbing and racing thing. You couldn't get away with
Yeah.
not.
Too much contact there, I'm sure.
So, do you bring your welder with you there to do any of these cage modifications, or they all have to go back to the shop?
We used to bring everything here, but now we found out it's usually quicker to leave the fabricator at the shop, and then we basically make all the work here, figure out what we're going to do, and then we send them there on a schedule of every 30 minutes, get them knocked out.
Nobody could find the shop, Richard.
You found it. If you found it, anybody can.
Well, there's that. Yeah. The good thing that they've got Braille.
Now, see, and this is an old Bondurant car here. So we know it wasn't originally a $500 car, but now it is.
Yeah, because you said it
Another
was.
BMW.
Well,
Richard's out there. What time does this race actually start?
10.
10.
Were you
10
not
a.m.
paying attention?
No, well, I didn't
So
write that
about
part
an-
of it down.
about
No,
an
I was
hour
just
from
thinking.
now.
I was watching him walking around, so he's obviously got some good signal out there. You know, if we had a car out there, we could do our show out there from
We
8
could do
to
it
11.
from inside the race car.
Yeah.
The last hour.
We need to get your minivan, and the four of us can ride in the minivan during the
He
Absolutely.
race.
doesn't have a minivan.
I don't
get-
have one anymore,
if
but I bet
that-
I can find one.
If that's the case, then I'm the driver.
Oh God!
I've been in
I
a
got a
minivan with
but a
you
minivan,
driving.
so
It's like they do
you're
on,
qualified to drive that one.
on NASCAR. Let's talk to the driver now.
That's it.
Here is a Ranger that the team probably spent 5-6 hours yesterday working on getting it running, and succeeded overnight.
Why?
New PCM, fuel pressure regulator, but we're talking about trucks, and this is Ford Ranger that's running the race as well.
With white wheels on it.
I like it.
Kind of
Well,
white
Richard,
grill to match.
that looks like tons of fun, Richard. We sure appreciate you spending the time with us this morning, just ahead of the green flag.
Look at all that crap laying
All
out
right,
there.
we'll
That's
see
like
you.
our remote.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Richard.
Appreciate it.
He has fun, doesn't he?
Golly.
From the 24 hours of lemons to the Pikes Peak hill climb and everything in between.
Is he making money? That's the real thing.
Obviously, he is if he's doing all
Well,
this.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
I
And
mean,
then
he's
for doing the Mexican
got me
deserts and
suckered
all
in.
that.
he's putting a car. He's actually got a car that he puts up there on Pikes Peak and takes to Mexico.
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We're going to take a quick break now, and we will be back with more of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show after these brief messages. I said saying. Oh, let's try that again.
These brief messages.
D's.
Tailpipes and Tacos is back. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, and it's an extra special one. Bring your hot rod classic or modern classic to compete for one of the famous chili pepper trophies and get a free breakfast taco. Just make a donation of any size to God's Garage and Lupi's will match it. You'll be helping single mothers who need a set of wheels. It's been almost a year in the making, so you won't want to miss Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, donate what you want to God's Garage, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy at 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. It's car show season, and what better way to kick it off than a free taco and camaraderie at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Proceeds benefit God's Garage.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
All right, time now for the In Wheel Time Car Clinic, brought to you by Conrad DeLong, and he has put together something different in the car clinic today.
Well, you told me to stop with the fluids and do something different, so we're going to do something a little different today.
Okay, do it.
And this is going to be a challenge to any of our listeners.
Or
If you-
me.
If you can think of more, get on our Facebook page and add to it. Because today we're going to talk about cars named after places. And we're going to start with,
Oh, what?
you should have a video. We're going to start with
There he is.
Chevrolet Colorado.
Hold on, let me
is,
get it.
is one of them. And we're just going to kind of blow through these. One of Jeff's favorite cars, the Ford Capri.
Well, what do you, Capri?
Capri. It's a
I learned
city
how to
in
drive a
France.
stick on a Capri.
Okay.
Toyota Tacoma.
Okay, we get
I've
that.
been there.
The Volvo
Wait
Amazon.
just a minute. Let's
Okay.
catch up here. There's
Toyota
the Tacoma.
Tacoma.
Where is Tacoma?
Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a city. Yeah.
Okay. The Volvo Amazon. That's a jungle in Brazil.
Oh, I was thinking Volvo. I was thinking Volvo.
Ford Torino Talladega is after the Volvo.
I thought you were going to show.
I like that. That's cool.
Show
there.
a picture of Talladega.
The Alfa Romeo Montreal, which I thought was kind of a cool car, kind of a different car. You don't see very many of
A
them.
Montreal,
Plastic
A
headlight.
Hyundai Santa Fe,
Santa Fe, New
New
Mexico. Yeah.
the Chevrolet Malibu. Let's see. Come on, there we go. Chevy Malibu. And I had one that color, but a two-door post. The Ferrari 550 Maranello.
Maranello,
Italy.
Italy.
Car.
The Dodge Dakota.
The state.
The Ferrari California, which is actually Ferrari's lowest price car, if there is such a thing. The Chrysler New Yorker. The BMW Bavaria, a place in
That'd
Germany.
be Bavaria.
The Dodge Aspen.
That's not a Dodge.
That's
a Chevrolet.
That's a Chevy Tahoe. The Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Pontiac Bonneville.
That's cool.
Chrysler Pacifica. Pacifica is a town in California.
I didn't know that.
It's also
Alfa Romeo Milano.
That's ugly.
That's not the toenail.
Yeah.
Dodge Durango. Some of the others would be a GMC Yukon. Don just mentioned the
What
GMC
is that?
Denali. That's the Dodge Aspen.
Oh.
I remember the Aspen.
It was actually, there was a version of it that was called a Roadrunner, but for some reason I
Yeah.
don't see one out at Hemi Hideout.
Oh.
The Aspen.
No,
The Roadrunner.
Roadrunner Aspen.
Roadrunner.
Yeah.
GMC
Decals.
Sierra would be another, and I'll challenge anybody that listens, get on and add some additional ones on our Facebook page. That's about 22, 23 of them that I could think of. I'm sure somebody can think of more than that, but so
Well, you don't hear of the BMW Bavaria.
no, a very unique little car.
Well, not only that, but I mean now it's the BMW M37-4232123.
Doodah.
I don't understand why they've gone in this direction of alphanumeric stuff.
They're trying to build some intelligence into the name of it so that they can say, oh, it's a BMW ABCD, like you're saying. Well, that means it's a blah, 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 blah. That's all it is.
funny
all
because-
of those numbers mean something. The
Yeah.
E is the chassis. The numbers after it tend to talk about the engine size.
Yeah, it's
the
some sort
letters
of
after it,
yeah,
like on a
intelligence of
Mercedes,
some
an
sort.
SEL or an SL, indicate the body style. If a BMW ends in an I, it means it's fuel injected. If it ends in an L, it means it's a lightweight vehicle.
If it ends in an R,
or a
it's been
loser.
recalled.
It's been they've all been recalled.
Speaking of recalls, there's a tire tread and sidewall detachment issue going on.
Only happens once.
So much that NHTSA decided to send this out last night. Toyo Tire, recalling certain Open Country and Extenza tires. They are Extenza AS2, Open Country AT3,
Off-roads.
Open Country HT2, and Open Country QT. If you have any of those brands, you need to contact your dealer or contact, I guess, wherever you bought your Toyo tire.
Yeah, and if you've registered them with a DOT number, they'll probably get a letter.
Yes, they will, as a matter of fact. And that letter is set to go out in December, and hope you don't have some blowout before then.
And off-road, they're popular tire for off-road.
Toyota Motor North America Wednesday said it's recalling 1.85 million RAV4 vehicles in the U.S. because of a sizing issue with the replacement 12-volt batteries. Bizarre. The recall covers certain RAV4 compact crossovers from 2013 to 2018. About 306,000 additional vehicles are affected in Canada and Mexico. Some replacement 12-volt batteries of the size specified for the subject vehicles have smaller top dimension than others. And if a small top battery is used for replacement and the hold-down clamp is not tightened correctly, the battery could move when the vehicle is driven with forceful turns.
Yeah, rub a hole in it.
Pretty much. And,
With a small top.
Yeah. BMW got a bunch of 23 and 24 model cars, from 530s to i7s and all this bizarre stuff that I've never even heard. Inoperative hands-on detection system, whatever that is. Honda Civic, 22 to 24, incorrectly assembled steering rack. That's not good.
Interesting choice of recalls this way. Small tops and racks.
Yeah.
Only you would put those two together in
That's our boy.
list.
That's our boy.
Lucid Air 22 to 23 model rear seat heater may overheat the rear seats and cause a thermal event.
A waffle ass.
Pretty much. Martha, I'm on fire.
Take a picture of it. I got to send it to Lucid. And I say that laughingly because I had when I worked for General Motors, I had a customer. Actually was here in Houston, said that his heated seat, and this was his phrase, created a waffle, gave me waffle ass. and literally, we got a photograph of the back of this guy from where the seat grid had not blistered him, but had left some red marks on him.
Kind of like that hot cup of coffee that you hold between your legs, and oops,
It's sweet.
and sued. Sweet.
Makes you pucker.
And sued McDonald's and won $74,000 for it.
And finally, the high-voltage battery may overheat in, of all things, the Jaguar I-Pace for 2019 through 2023. All those getting recalled, go to safercar.gov and do that number.
Mm-hmm.
So the I-Pace is smaller than the F-Pace.
I don't know.
No.
It's a pace to run away from. That's what that is.
Pace yourself.
Okay. We got some really good stories coming up in the
It's
next
a pace
hour.
of poop.
Pretty much, yeah. But it's time now for us to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And I know that everybody looks forward to these breaks because we have some very important information from our sponsors. And right now we're going to talk to the fine folks at Autorama that will tell you all about the upcoming show. This is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Stay with us.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back! Thanksgiving weekend! The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama! At the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars. The ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics. See Lone Star Throwdowns, Texas-sized truck spread. And don't miss the traditional rod and custom section. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, see wild, high-flying freestyle motocross stunt shows. Shop the swap meet and Women's World all weekend on the celebrity stage presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. Friday, meet AEW Tag Team Superstars, the Lucha Bros. Saturday, it's Noel G. Hector from the Fast and Furious. Sunday, it's Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 23rd through 26th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
From the fabulous Sugar Shack Studios, it is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we're going to have... I have to turn the page because
It's a Bob Seger song. Turn the page.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Only you would know that. Coming up, we're going to get an update on the UAW strike. Remember, the new proposed contract still is yet to be ratified. We have the upcoming events calendar. as well in this segment. Mr. Mars reviews the new Chevy Trailblazer, and later, auto teacher Jonathan Couch joins us. Plus, you'll hear the stories making automotive news headlines. All that and more just ahead in this hour of the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Or if you're listening in a podcast, in the 30-minute segment that's about to happen, you'll just have to listen to the next segment to get the full out.
Yep.
So there's that.
Don't be late.
Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday for this mashup of a car show.
Yeah, it's going pretty smooth. You know, we've had a couple guests not show up, and I kind of like the format. I do.
that kind of format where they don't show
and
up?
Mike and you have done something different with the commercial breaks and all that good stuff. It seems to be working just dandy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you approve, because we
Love the way your sound system worked first right off the bat.
Yeah, that didn't work too good, because
Well,
I had this
It's not my job.
I had this Mike Mars cable plugged into my computer, and it caused my computer not to put out any audio.
Which
So
is
that
good
was-
to know that we were going to test that after the show, but we got that out of the
Instead,
way
we
early.
tested it
We
during
did.
the show.
We got that out of the way so we just tested it on you. There's that. All right.
And thank you for your feedback.
Thank you for your patience.
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
no, thank you.
Hello.
Coffee's sweet.
Hello.
Hello.
Tune in next week.
All right. Joining us now, Sundaresh Haragu, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the College of Engineering, Architecture, and Technology at Oklahoma State University. And we're going to talk
Go
to
Cowboys.
him. We're going to talk to him about the UAW strike and get an update on it. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on your show.
And I hope I didn't mash up your name too much.
You did it quite well. Thank you.
I guessed right. Yay me. So let's talk about the UAW strike. It seems to be going in the right direction. I think that I hear that the only thing that's left now is for the auto workers themselves to ratify the contract that has been proposed to all three of the U.S. automakers. Am I correct?
Yeah, that is correct. In fact, I think one plant, ratified it just yesterday, I believe. I think it was one of the Ford plants. So with an overwhelming majority, by the way, they are in support of the new contract. So I think things are going in the right direction. And I would say for both, not just the employees of the auto plants, but also the companies themselves.
Well, and I'm glad this is taken this kind of turn that everybody said, yes, we'll agree to the 25% pay raise. But there's more to just the 25% pay raise. It doesn't all happen at once, does it?
No, it happens over a period of 4 years. But there are also other things that's in the package. They've gotten rid of the tiered system. There are benefits that are now going to be in place. I think one of the companies, I think it was Stellantis, that had to open a plant in Illinois as part of these negotiations. So I think it's, from my vantage point, I look at it as a win-win-win for all.
Well, that plant that you're referring to is the Belvedere plant. As a matter of fact, we talked about it on this show a few weeks ago when I went to visit my cousin up in Wisconsin. Going from Chicago to Wisconsin, you pass right past that plant. And it's right there on the highway going up to Wisconsin 90, I think it is. And, passing these ginormous assembly plants, it breaks my heart to see one that's sitting there not running, there's no one in the parking lot. They got a guard sitting out there, so you can't go in. Okay, I got that. But it's really not about the plant, the physical plant itself. It's about all of the people that plant employed. Thousands, 1,500, I think it was when they closed.
That weren't under contract, but were people around the plant that did business with the contractors.
And that goes with all of these plants that shut down because, you know, the little bar down the street, the hangout that these employees to the automakers go and hang out after their shift is over with. And how about the parts suppliers? Those guys, too, hurting as well because if the assemblers aren't putting the cars together, well, what are they going to do? They're going to have to shut down, too.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if a plant is shut down, you know, like you said, it just doesn't impact the employees there. But, you know, they say that for every automobile worker, there are 6 other jobs that are dependent upon it. So it has a huge ripple effect. And the other thing, too, is, you know, if you go back to the financial crisis of 2008, following which there was a ton of money that was put into the automotive sector. And of course, with the new Inflation Reduction Act, again, there's more resources that are coming, that have already come. It'd be a waste to see all of these plants that can be performing at peak capacity just sit idle. You know, it's been, 7 weeks since the strike started. And, you know, like we said earlier, things are going in the right direction. One plant has ratified the contract. And I think, you know, the short term, the automobile companies are probably going to take a bit of a hit. But, you know, if you look at their profits since, you know, for the last 10 years, the total profits have gone up by 92%, right? It's a total of $250 billion or something. And this year they're expected to make north of $30 billion, despite the strike, by the way. I mean, that might put a little bit of a dent, but that's good for, you know, American manufacturing. That's good for certainly the employees, but just the whole economy around a plant, you know, not just the suppliers, that's an important component, but also, you know, like the mom and pop shops, the cafeterias, the Starbucks and all that surround these plants. So, yeah, it'd be a waste to have them sit any longer in an idle state.
Well, I also heard that there is some effect on some of these companies where they have pulled back on some of their EV expansions, delayed them, postponed them, and in some cases actually canceled them. So there's going to be a much longer term effect, I think, on some of these companies, don't you?
Yeah. In fact, I think GM is going to postpone, as of now, the transition to EV or building new EV plants by about a year. That's probably reasonable. But if they do it any longer than that, you know, then they are kind of have to play catch up 5 years from now. I know currently the EV sales have gone down a bit, but, you know, we all know that that's the future, right? So if they don't do the steps that they need to do now to transition to that environment, whether it's battery manufacturing or just EV plants, they might be left behind, and other competitors will take over, you know, their core business.
How much impact do you think this strike has had on Tier 2 and Tier 3 suppliers as far as closing down and maybe never coming back?
Yeah, if you look at, you know, companies like the suppliers to all three automakers, actually, you know, companies like Aptiva and others, they are actually hurting. They're going to have reduced sales in the next, certainly this quarter. Longer term effects, you know, could be perhaps minimized if they take some concrete actions to get back up. So the companies I was thinking was Dana and Aptiv, right, that they supply to the big three. But if you look at the Tier 3, Tier 4 suppliers, there are many small companies that, you know, have cash flow issues, that might not be able to make payroll, you know, from one month to the other. They are definitely going to hurt in the short term, hopefully not the long term, but this is where the big three perhaps has to step in and help stabilize their supplier base. they're all sitting on high level of profit. But if they work with their suppliers, especially the tier 3, tier 4, and support them with some good financing terms and assured sales and things like that. With the new plants opening, I think that's going to be helpful. But they can do a lot of things to make sure that their supplier base is not hurt.
And then how many hits can these suppliers take through the years? Getting hit back in 2008 with the collapse, getting hit with COVID, and now getting hit with this strike. I think there's going to be, some of them are just going to shut their doors and never come back.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back to 2008, but the pandemic for sure. But in between, they've had slowdowns, small strikes here and there. The chip shortage that put them way behind. Plus the unpredictable demand, right? Who knew that the demand for cars or SUVs after the pandemic was going to skyrocket?
Right.
So the economic uncertainty is another factor. Labor shortage, right? We are sitting at 3.8, somewhere around 3.8% unemployment rate. And not to mention the transition to EVs, right? All of this is just, things that are impacting the stable operation of a business. So the ones that are nimble, the ones that are able to adapt are the ones that are going to do very well. But I think it's in the interest of the big three to support all of their suppliers in the best way that they can.
Well, here's another thing, too, that I think people lose track of the fact that the guys and gals that have been on the picket line, they were paid by the union $500 a week. So do the math. How much is that over a year's period of time? They've lost money going into the Christmas holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
And, despite the fact that, they got this 4-year agreement that raises their pay by 25%.
Over 4 years.
Over 4 years. So I don't know as if they'll ever be able to make up the money that they've lost for the 7 weeks that they've spent on the picket line.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the employees first, right? In the 10-year period, their wages have really gone down by around 10%. The estimates are somewhere between 10 and 15%, depending upon the type of skill that they bring in. And now, over a 4-year period, they've got a 25% wage increase. So that barely puts them back to where they were, given inflation and, when the employees go to buy a car, they also see a huge increase in price, right? Not to mention all of the other things that they buy. Those prices have gone up. And for the companies themselves, I think, again, when you're looking at the big three, they're $30 billion profit that they're expected to take. So they will take a hit in the short run. But, they all of the companies and the UAW, they get their act together, they work together. I think they can push the regular car market envelope even more, but also make a quick transition to EVs. That's coming. I don't know how much longer companies can afford to say, I'm going to push it by a year. I'm going to push it by 2 years or 3 years, use one excuse or the other. Yeah, that's... it hurts everybody.
Well, especially the fact that these companies have already committed and invested billions of dollars in making EVs, and let's not even talk about the battery plants that are being built all over the United States, and those plants alone are $1 billion apiece. I mean, we're talking about a lot of money.
Well,
here.
one of the things I read about the contract that they're going to ratify, or some of them will, is that if a manufacturing plant closes in the United States, the contract could be null and void and they can go back on strike. So this is actually preventing the manufacturers from building new facilities like EV or hydrogen or whatever the case in the U.S. because down the road, some of them will have to close at some point.
Either that or build them offshore.
Right, and that's where they're going.
And I think building them offshore is going to be a high probability.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
And think about the automobile industry, right? their share of the U.S. economy is something like $1.5 trillion, somewhere between 3 and 5%. They produce how many cars? I think almost a little more than 9 million cars in the U.S. So they have to make these investments in plants on a continuous basis. They really need to have their eye on the long-term picture, right? Even if they close down some of these plants, and if it's not in the contract, to offer employment to the people who lost their jobs. By the way, some contracts they are saying if you convert from gasoline engine-based car to an EV car, some of the contracts are saying that the job needs to be guaranteed for the workers. But whether they have it in or not, with the labor shortage, right? They need to make sure that they're taking care of their employees well in the short term and the long term, and offer them opportunities so they can begin to contribute, because they already have the expertise, right, in doing the assembly plants and all that. So why not, if you have to train new people, bring them in, that's going to cost them a whole lot more.
Absolutely.
So I think, companies will probably need to look at longer term rather than just the quarterly results, in my opinion.
Well, and your opinion is truly appreciated on this program, and you bring quite a bit of knowledge to the whole thing. And we want to stay in touch with you if we can, and get some more of your input once everybody gets back to work here in the next few weeks, and see how things are going. Can we do that?
I would love to do that. Thank you, Don, Mike, and everybody else in this crew. I appreciate you having me on this morning.
And we appreciate you too, Sundaresh Haragu.
Very much.
Yeah, and I really didn't give him due justice in the introduction of his actual background. Yeah, the credentials. Associate Dean for Academic Affairs in the College of Engineering, Architecture, and Technology at Oklahoma State, where he is a Regents Professor and holds the John Hendricks Chair. He served at the University of Louisville as director of the Logistics and Distribution Institute at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, State University of New York, Pittsburgh, and held visiting appointments at State University of New York, Buffalo, Technical University of Eindhoven University in the Netherlands, and IBM's Thomas J. Watson Research Center, author of the 5th edition of Facilities Design and an expert on supply chain logistics. I mean, I could go on and on.
Well, he's forgotten more than we'll ever know.
and you know what? I went to public school.
Yeah. I graduated Oklahoma State in 78. Go Pokes.
Go Pokes.
Sundaresh, thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to talk to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you again.
You bet. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. And be sure to follow us on Facebook as well. Time now for the events calendar. We have events, and some of them we're going to participate in.
And some good ones. We're advertising now for Autorama Thanksgiving weekend. Always the big event here in Houston. You want to go see a lot of custom cars? Mm-hmm. Autorama is a place to go. It's also a place a lot of car clubs will show up. I think Northside Mustang Club is going to have a big outing. They always do. They always have a big space set aside there. And then the 4th annual Memorial Benefit Taps and Turbo Car Shows is going to happen today at 12:30 at No Label Brewing in Katy. The 17th annual Heroes and Hot Rods Veterans Day weekend is next weekend in downtown Bastrop, hosted by the Bastrop Area Cruisers. They have 300 registered vehicles already. They have 400 registration openings, so they're still available for another 100 cars. If you're interested, go to BastropAreaCruisers.com and register your vehicle. It's a great show put on, and it's been going on for quite a while. And downtown Bastrop's kind of a cool little place to visit as well.
Yep,
it definitely is. Thank you, sir. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Mr. Mars' review of the Chevy Trailblazer after this.
Tailpipes and Tacos is back. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, and it's an extra special one. Bring your hot rod classic or modern classic to compete for one of the famous chili pepper trophies, and get a free breakfast taco. Just make a donation of any size to God's Garage and Loopy's will match it. You'll be helping single mothers who need a set of wheels. It's been almost a year in the making, so you won't want to miss Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, donate what you want to God's Garage, and grab a free Loopy Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy at 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. It's car show season, and what better way to kick it off than a free taco and camaraderie at Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Proceeds benefit God's Garage.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Shile-Knowles at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
Rodney Rodriguez doing that commercial.
Man,
Thank
don't
you so
yell at
much.
me, Rodney. I get it.
Yeah, he got it. All right, time now for this hour's car review here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And Mr. Mars has a review of the Kia Kona. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. The Chevy Trailblazer.
So make sure you leave a space there that I can edit that out, please. So we're talking about the 2024 Chevrolet Trailblazer all-wheel drive RS. Now, this is actually the second gen of this vehicle that was introduced in 2021. It does come in 4 trim levels, an LS, an LT, an Active that I think you've had, Don, and then the RS. And you can get all-wheel drive in any of these vehicles, so we had the RS with the all-wheel drive. This is a subcompact SUV, supposed to seat 5. Better be friends in the back seats, all I can tell you.
Well, it's very small. It's compact.
It is. But it ain't your mom's truck-based Trailblazer that used to be.
Right.
Well, the people that watch this show, they're young, they're enthusiastic, and
They don't
even
remember the old
Hell
one.
no.
That's true.
That's
That's
what
true.
a grandpa had.
And I will tell you that my teenage grandchildren, they really like this vehicle, and they liked all the buttons and
I've
everything.
got one too.
The RS has got a unique grille on it. It's got some unique RS badging with black trim on it. It's a blacked out package. So we had the black roof with the Summit white body with the black panels across the bottom and the blacked out wheels and stuff. It's really a sharp looking vehicle.
was,
You
I
got
agree.
it out in the sun.
Agreed.
It's really nice. Up front, you're going to find LED lighting. It's also all around it. You're going to find the heated side mirrors, got some roof rails, got a power sunroof, power liftgate that's hands-free. We were rolling on 19-inch gloss black aluminum wheels available on the RS trim level. And I really have to say, I think some of the things that we're going to get into, particularly in the interior, I was really surprised that a subcompact SUV had this much content on it. I really was. So you get inside, you're going to find that the seating on the RS trim level is the Evotex seating material. Now, that's a synthetic leather replacement. It's supposed to wear better, but feel like leather, whatever. It was nice. Front seats are heated and ventilated. Passenger seat on this vehicle folds flat all the way down so that you can literally put an 8-foot object in there if you want to. And the second seat folds 60/40 and it folds down. And with this for this year, the 24, they had the new 11-inch touchscreen where you're going to find your nav and all your convenience controls in the middle of the dash. And there's an 8-inch driver screen that's got all your content. Now, the vehicle I'm driving now is the same way. I've noticed the 24s, they're starting to take some of the stuff out of the driver screen, like trips and mileage and things like that, and they're moving it over in the software into the center stack screen. So where you might normally, like if you were looking for I reset the road trip.
That's what happened.
Yeah. You can't find it over here in the driver screen. It's over in the center stack under some different, you got to dig for it, but it's in there. And it's nice.
Got to
because
know
it's
how to
big.
search through the menus to find it.
Yes. You got to kind of look. We also had the premium Bose audio with 7 speakers, and it was really cool. And we had the wireless charging. The second row has A and C USB Type charging ports. You can't go out on the internet, but you can charge your devices with either type in the second row. Now, up under the hood, because it's the RS, it has the 1.3-liter turbo. This is a 3-cylinder. And because it's the all-wheel drive and it's the RS, the standard engine in the Trailblazer is a 1.2-liter 3-cylinder. The one we had is 155 horsepower, 175 pound-feet of torque, backed by a 9-speed automatic. Now, if you get the 1.2-liter with 137 horsepower, you're going to get a CVT with it. That's just the way it is. Now, the EPA says you should be looking for 26 miles to the gallon in the city, out on the Highway 29, combined 27. Now, I drove this vehicle a little much. I drove it 445.3 miles the week I had it. And I got 25.9 miles to gallon in it, which I was
That's pretty good.
pretty happy with that, considering most of that was in the city.
But did it have enough horsepower?
Yeah, they look, get up and go.
It was adequate, is the way I put it. It's a little slow on the downshift because of the 9-speed. We've talked about that before with the small motors. If you put a 9-speed, sometimes
Hunting for gears.
Yes, it's got to go a little too far. Now, if you pull it down and about halfway down and step off into it, like it's more like a regular 6-speed, it'll get up and go. So maybe a 6-speed, performance-wise, may have been a better choice. I don't know about gas mileage. I don't know if it would have.
Did it have paddle shifters?
No.
Okay.
Did have 3 drive modes, normal, sport, and then you get into the all-wheel drive and all that stuff, and I couldn't tell much difference between any of them in this vehicle, and I didn't really see any need to. I like driving it just the way I had it. Now, the base model price for this vehicle, again, remember, this subcompact SUV, $23,100.
Dang.
Now, that's the base, the stripper. Now, the trim price on the RS was $28,700.
Still.
However, we had some options. We had some package that pushed the MSRP up to $34,670.
No.
Well, it did, but I really, looking around, I didn't really think that was too bad for the amount of content you get, because there's still some more stuff in there that we just didn't have time to go into. So we're kind of hitting the highlights. But if you go look at a Volkswagen Taos. Yeah, that one. $24,155. A Mazda CX-30, $26,360. These are the base trims. And then the Subaru Crosstrek at $26,290. These are the 4 all-wheel drive vehicles that I could find in that same size to kind of compare them to. But I was really surprised. It's been a long time since I've said, I really like this Chevrolet.
And the grandkids did too.
Yeah,
And the
Kylie likes the
grandkids
one. She
did.
liked the tracks at the auto show.
Yeah,
She's
and this
seen
is
that.
kind of price is situated size-wise between the Trax and the Equinox. It kind of fits in between.
Equinox is a little bit bigger, obviously.
Yeah. And but anyway, I was fairly impressed. And so if you're looking for a vehicle in that size, I would definitely go check this out when you're checking out the rest of it.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 on iHeartRadio. Just search In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. And 30-minute podcasts are at your fingertips on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets out there. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will continue right after this quick break.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back! Thanksgiving weekend! The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars. The ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics. See Lone Star Throwdowns, Texas-sized truck spread. And don't miss the traditional rod and custom section. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, see wild, high-flying freestyle motocross stunt shows. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend on the celebrity stage presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. Friday, meet AEW Tag Team Superstars, the Lucha Bros. Saturday, it's Noel G, Hector from the Fast and Furious. Sunday, it's Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama, November 23rd through 26th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts, part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, Jonathan Couch Racing, a New Caney ISD auto instructor. Later, we'll look at the automotive news headlines this week. We got lots of them, too. Howdy, along with Mike out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's a beautiful day here in Houston, Texas.
In the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And,
Won't you be my neighbor?
Yes, and tomorrow is Chrome and Coffee at the Avalon Diner down in the Fountains.
Yep.
I'm planning on taking the Corvette down there if I can get it in gear.
How's the battery holding out?
Battery's doing good.
Thank you, Richard.
Richard did that. But somehow, some way, it's not shifting gears.
What?
I've got 1, 3, and 5 available to me.
Well, you can get to the Fountains with that.
And that's what I plan on doing. And then next Wednesday, it's going to go over to Carolina.
For its fluid changes?
Yeah, fluid changes.
For its
yeah,
diaper change?
For its oil change and filter and state inspection sticker. And she's going to have the boy over there look at it and say, you're going to have to leave it with me. And I hope that it's not something serious. Because I've spent a buttload of money on that car this year. And I'm ready for all of that to end and for me to be able to drive it again, because it's been one thing after another. But somebody that knows all about that, his name is Jonathan Couch, and he's with Couch Racing and the New Caney Independent School District. He's the auto instructor over there.
Yep.
He's a jack of all trades. Maybe I should bring the Corvette out there to you, Jonathan.
Oh, maybe. What is it?
It's a C5 with a 6-speed manual and a new clutch.
Yep.
Yeah. You good with that?
Oh, maybe.
You don't know.
You say you lost second?
Well, I haven't lost it. I just can't get the shifter to make it go into second.
Oh, I see.
Or
well, what you been doing with it?
That's always the right question, right?
I know that is the right
What'd you do, beating it up?
I wasn't beating it up. I took it to check on a flat again.
Uh-oh.
And now it's going to have to be Mr. Morris. He wants your attention.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A flat. And so I took it in there waiting for some nail or something that I'd gathered up. Guess what? I was not able to find anything in there. And I will tell you that what they did found is more corrosion on the wheel bead again. So what that means is that I'm going to have to buy some new wheels, because this is the second time this has happened. So,
you might be able to bring it to a wheel company.
Well, I've got to talk to
get them to clean it up.
Yeah, I've got to talk to Mr. Gray.
Clean it up and seal it.
Well, they've already done that. They've already cleaned it up once. And I think it's beyond cleaning up, because I felt that bead and its corrosion to the point where I don't think it can be sealed unless they, weld it and grind it and all that. Do I want to do that? Do I really want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. If I'm going to spend that kind of money to do that, then I think I'm just going to buy some new wheels. The question is, what kind of wheels?
I was going to say, talk about spending more money. You'll easily spend $1,000 plus buying wheels for that car.
I know that.
If not closer to $1,500.
Yeah. Or if I go the carbon fiber route, then God knows.
You're not going to go carbon fiber. You don't want carbon fiber wheels.
They sure do look good.
They do, but you damage one, it's $3,000 a wheel.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to spend that kind of money. Nope. Yeah. So then going to look and see what kind of wheels are available for the Corvette. Because there's two sizes. The front's smaller. Yeah. What'd you say, Jeff? Staggered fit, yeah. Or just be staggering around, staggerly.
Well, that's where Mike, in his area, where he lives.
Yeah, the staggerly.
The brown water stagger.
Yeah, I got it. So Mr. Zekin over here is going to help me find the back spacing on these wheels.
Oh.
Because I'm going to have to find wheels that fit the car.
Correctly.
And I don't want it sticking out of the wheel wells and having problems with all that. I don't want any of that.
No.
Just give me what I got out there, but I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I know the size of the hoop. They're 18s and 19s, I think.
Always start at 0. Yeah, because that's what we did on your Corvair.
Yeah. Well, then that's what I want. But I don't know what the offset is on those, so we have to find that out.
Well, anyhow, we have Mr. Couch on.
Yeah, sorry, we got kind of off subject there, but I'm sure you're familiar with this kind of thing because you got a bunch of teenage kids that love to put big tires and wheels on their cars.
Yes, sir. That's common.
And that's the answer.
I was going to tell you, if you, if you're really strapped, you just go find a C5 at a dealership late at night sometime and grab yourself.
No. And the problem with that is I really don't want stock wheels on it because the C5 stock wheels, not too appealing to me.
The original wagon wheels were some of the ugliest wheels they ever made.
I like wagon wheels.
No.
All right.
So we're not going to do that. We're going to look in the catalog. As a matter of fact, when I was over at Discount Tire getting the tire fixed, what I thought was going to be a fix, all they did is slap it back on there and say,
ain't going to happen.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen. I was looking through the wheel catalog, which is about an inch thick from every wheel manufacturer in the entire world that they could put on your car there at Discount Tire.
Today.
For a price.
Yeah, for a price.
So Jonathan, what kind of wheels y'all run in your race car?
Well, right now, the race car we have in New Caney High School is a 95 Beretta, and a 95 Beretta in every sense of the term. It's not a tube chassis car that looks like a Beretta. It's a 95 Beretta that someone put a cage in. So it's still got stock wheel studs. Basically, as stock as a 95 Beretta can be, just with a lot of missing parts.
Well, that and have you done anything to the motor?
Not yet. So actually, while we're sitting here, I've got one cylinder head in the machine already. Here's one that's done. I did a fancy big valve job on it. And I've been, of course, this is all educational, right? So I've been teaching the kids that sometimes factory parts are your best friend for cheap racing.
Absolutely.
And in the early 2000s, for a 95, the upgrade was bigger intake valves and a cylinder head redesign. Well, we have a die grinder, and we bought factory valves for 2000-something Chevy Malibu. And so that's what we cut the valve seats for. And so that's one upgrade we've done, or in the process of doing.
Now, you say you teach the kids what you're doing. Do you teach them to actually do the machine work?
Yes. Yeah, a lot of it's just instructor-led demonstration, as we like to call it, because there's a lot of money tied up in those tools, and the machinery itself can get away from you pretty quick and tear stuff up beyond repair. So they'll stand there and observe me do it. We have a vertical mill at school that I'll use to do that with. This one's actually getting fixed because someone went a little too far with the die grinder, so I've got to fix it now. The students are part of all of that, and I try to make them as part of everything as I can in the process, even sitting down to look through old parts catalogs to find parts and those kinds of things.
So what kind of race car are you building?
It's called a mini stock. So it's any front or rear wheel drive V6 or 4-cylinder powered car. I guess you could run a V8. The trick to this class is it has to weigh what it does and what it has in cc's in the engine. So if you wanted to run a 350, that's fine, but the car has to weigh 5,700 pounds. If you want to run a 3100 like we're doing, the car has to weigh 3,100 pounds. If the car's got a 2.3 liter in it, it can weigh 2,300 pounds. So it's a pound per cc, which pretty well self-limits the class. A lot of Ford 2.3s are in the class. A lot of Volkswagens run in the class. It's really pretty neat, but the engine rules are wide open. So you could do just about anything you wanted so long as the car weighs what the engine size is.
So, Jonathan, who you got next to you there on the screen?
Wyatt.
Wyatt's here. Hey, Wyatt, have you heard from Guillermo this morning at all?
He just texted me. He said he just joined, but I don't know.
Well, I haven't let him in because I did not know he was coming.
So what is your part in this, Wyatt?
I'm like the pit crew basically, and anything that happens to the car, I'm there.
You're the pit crew, one-person pit crew. I like it. How easy is the Beretta to work on?
So far it's been a bit of a challenge, but it's still fun, like learning how to do all this stuff and machining and all that.
So you're new to this as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you in this program?
Like what do you mean?
Well, I mean,
sophomore, junior, senior.
Oh yeah. I'm a senior. I've been in the auto tech program for like 2 years, so I'm not new to working on cars, but new to working on race cars, definitely.
Okay. And so Jonathan is teaching you the difference between a street car and a race car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the blend of the two.
Is the car still streetable?
No.
It's
No,
not. Okay.
No. There's no lights. There's no signals. There's no horn. There's no airbags.
Not a single luxury.
Right.
That shouldn't matter.
Like turn signals.
That doesn't matter.
So I guess it has a roll bar in it, and I assume that it has
no glass.
No glass. I mean,
Lexan.
it's a real honest-to-God race car. Where do you race this?
105 Speedway.
Oh,
So
the
it's
dirt track.
Yeah.
It's a dirt track car. I got you.
That's right.
And
Yep.
what class is that?
Mini stock.
Mini stock. And
Yes.
and who is the driver?
Guillermo Gutierrez so far. He just joined us.
Guillermo.
Very good. And Guillermo, how old are you? What grade you in?
Uh-oh. Can't hear him.
I can't hear you. Check to see if you're muted on your end.
Nah.
Well, the Lemons races.
There you
There
go.
you
Yes, we can hear you now. So
Yes, I'm 18. I'm a senior, so.
you're a senior as well.
And you're the one that's
Yes,
posed
sir.
out on the hood of the car in the pictures on Facebook?
Yes, sir.
That's it for all the girls to see.
Yeah,
Going,
he's
ooh, I
laid
want to
out
date
there,
that
yeah.
race car driver guy.
Gotta show them the goods.
I like that.
He's got the style. He's there. He's ready.
He's got it. Okay, well that's good. That's good to know. So, did you have any driving experience in a race car before this course?
For legal reasons, no.
Okay, I got it.
So-
I get it. Yes.
Okay, so technically, it was my first time in a racetrack. It just, I was very new to it, and the way it happened was actually kind of funny. There's this guy, his name is Jason Christensen. He brought his daughter's car, Piper Christensen's, number 27, a mini stock as well. I ended up test driving it, and after that, I got hooked. And that's pretty much like the only experience I had with race car beforehand.
So you clearly haven't had any experience driving on ice because driving on dirt can be very similar.
Yeah, no, I'm from a very tropical place, so ice is very new to me, or
Yeah.
sliding around is very new to me.
Right. And, in the track preparation, usually the early part of the evening, the track is really gooey and, and it's
Kind of
slick.
wet it up.
Wet it up. And then toward the end of the evening, it's all dried and got lots of ruts in it and all sorts of ugliness. And, that takes a real skill for a driver on a dirt track to be able to adjust through the racing
In a
It's
front-wheel
the track.
drive car.
in a front-wheel drive car.
Track heat up.
So how much progress did you make this season?
Well, this was actually the last race of the season, and to be honest, for my first time, I did okay. I passed one person, and I wasn't last. I didn't crash the car.
There you
Then
go.
you crashed the car?
So you'd qualify for the Lemons race this weekend.
Yes, we had another guest on earlier talking about the 24-hour Lemons race that's going on down at Motorsports Resort down in Angleton right now. So at any rate, that's another story. But I will tell you that I'm impressed. So tell us about your instructor, Mr. Couch.
Well, I actually just joined his class this year. I'm a transfer student, and it's been really a change of pace for me because I'm very back in my old auto tech classes. This is not the first auto tech program I've taken. We didn't do any sorts of engine machining or engine work at all, and it was just service, brake job, oil changes, and replace this, replace that. Like nothing wrong against that. It was actually a pretty good class. I liked it. I had some really good classmates, and we were all very productive. But in Couch's class, I really feel like I've learned more in depth about how an engine works, like down to the minimal details, like how much this can affect that,
Yeah, the technical aspect of the engine as opposed to just the outward appearance of it.
What about you, Wyatt? What can you contribute to that?
Well, I've been in
you're
there
the
only
pit crew
for 2
guy.
years. Yeah. And, I've learned a lot about, like, basically how to do anything to a car at this point. I don't think we haven't torn down a car completely, but I can do just about anything with Couch there to help. And, he doesn't just, like, leave you. He'll tell you what to do, and then you do it. And then, if you mess up, he'll be there. He doesn't just, leave you to mess up. And, no matter how much you want to choke him out, he's a really good help.
That happens very often.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Well, so my question, I guess, is that we've got to kind of wrap this up.
Yeah.
But, do you have any females in this class?
Yeah, I think we have like 4.
Wow, that's good. And how do they rate among all of the class members? How many members in the class?
Each class is about 15 to 18.
Okay.
And the girls run with the boys. They hold their own. Some girls do more of the service rider side of things, which is just as important.
Absolutely.
For me.
Yeah.
Because it allows me to step away from that to monitor shop operations.
Well, plus the service rider is the communication between the customer and the technician, and that's a critical part of what happens is making sure that communication is effective so that the technician can properly diagnose and repair the vehicle.
So 15 to 18 students in a class, has that increased over the past years, or is this the first year? How is that affecting the school?
No, the class cap is usually about 18 in a CTE class with a lab element or a lab component. And so if you had more than 18, it would be really hard to keep track of everyone. So it's good that we keep the class sizes small. I teach 4 classes a day. The auto basics class is the principal's class. It's much larger, usually around 25 to 30. But the longer classes, the classes where we're putting hands on stuff are smaller, and that's good. It's good because it gives me time to get to everybody and talk them through things, and it also gives me room in the shop to keep them busy. You got to have enough projects in the shop to keep all 18 kids busy, and that can be difficult because, like a real shop, there are slow days, and then there are days when you're really busy. So, just sort of balancing that can be a challenge sometimes.
So are you getting any support from local dealers?
No, not yet. The most supportive people, believe it or not, in this whole thing have been Jason Christensen, Joey Smith, Tasha Smith, Jesse, all the owners at 105 Speedway. They've been very gracious and given us a lot of leeway.
Nice.
This all started as me pitching the idea of having my high school auto tech kids go out there and be pit crews for other race teams. And then Jason Christensen kind of picked us up and put us in a race car. And so we've raced one race with that race car. And like Guillermo said, he did a very good job. He was very consistent. Every lap was 19 point something seconds. So all within that 1 second pace. The leader was running about a 17.3, so we were about 2 seconds off the pace of the leader per lap, but his lap times were very consistent. He ran a good groove on the racetrack. He really showed like he knew what he was doing. Like he said, he didn't hit anybody. The car survived the race. He didn't hit a wall. So all good news there. And then there's only one way to go from here. We'll only get faster. Mm-hmm. So all in all, pretty good.
So you're wrapping up this semester. How are things looking to take the Christmas break?
So now's time for research and development. We've got one test and tune coming up right before the Texas Grand, the last race of the season. They haven't released the schedule yet that I've seen anyway, so I don't know if mini stock is on that or not. If mini stock is on the list, we will definitely be in that race. If we're not, then there are a few practice days in February usually, and then there's a practice day before the Texas Grand. We'll be out there doing some test and tune and then research and development on the car to get it faster.
Now, do you guys have your own web page, Facebook page, something like that we can keep up with your class?
We do. I need to figure out how to link you guys to that, but yes, we do.
Okay. Well, would you send it to Mars or send it to Conrad? Could you do that for us? Because we'd love to keep up with you guys. I mean, I
think it'd be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun, and we don't have any really high school classes like y'all's that we would really love to connect with, because it seems like a very well-rounded program, and we want to stay in touch and wish you guys the best of luck.
Well, thank you.
Yep. And gentlemen, good luck in your senior year, and have fun with it, because it only comes around once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
You bet.
And if you're looking for something to do this afternoon, get out to Bull Salis Park. Northside Mustang is having their meet out there. Wanted to give them a shout out as well.
Okay. Well, Jonathan, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And if we don't talk to you beforehand, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all of you guys out there.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh,
Gary.
yeah,
Wyatt. Thank you.
You guys take care. All right. Jonathan Couch, Couch Racing, and New Caney High School race team.
Okay.
Automotive class. Gosh, I would have had that in high school.
I took home ec.
I did too.
Yeah,
I actually
it's fun.
majored in home ec.
Yep.
I took 3 semesters and majored
That
in home ec.
explains a lot.
Yeah, it does.
I had auto shop. We did auto shop, did a little welding, did all things automotive, kind of gave me my opportunity to get.
Well, the metal shop guy was a total jerk and had nothing to do with cars. And first thing out of his mouth at the beginning of the class, we'll have nothing to do with cars in this class. It's all about metal and metal shop.
Our middle school had wood shop, but by the time we got to high school, you either grow cows and pigs, or that was it.
Well, we
Out
had
of wood?
We had wood shop. We had drafting, which I love drafting, and then we had
did have
home
drafting.
economics.
Yeah.
We had to sew our own aprons for shop class.
We weren't allowed to take
They'd wear
home
aprons,
economics. They wouldn't let the boys in.
Oh,
The sewing class, there was no boys in that. I wasn't involved in that.
Oh yeah,
Mine was strictly
no, it was all
cooking.
boys, because you could not take the wood class unless you had an apron, and to do that, you had to go into home economics and make your apron, sew it, and all that. Oh yeah,
Well, that's certainly
very
different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not, but yeah.
That's right. How about you? Did you sew your own apron?
No, I started in
He's sewing
in automotive. The problem with automotive is, my experience welding burnt lots of holes in my clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I always welded a little
pops.
too hot, and they go pop, and and you get all this little molten metal holes.
It was either that or
in
the
your
ashes
clothes.
from the whatever you were smoking at the time.
Yep.
Those are seeds.
Seed pop.
Yeah, God.
Twigs and stems.
That's it.
Ditchweed.
All right, time now for some of the stories making
Oh, I
automotive
thought we were
news
going to break. I'm
headlines.
sorry. Oh, I was prepared for break.
Do we need to do that?
Well,
already?
we had one at 49.
No, 46.
46. We didn't take.
We missed
Oh.
it.
We didn't?
We're watching the clock, Don.
Well, okay. Well, then let's take a break, shall we?
Sure.
God, you guys are such...
No, I got 49.
You're the
on
one
my
who
list.
put the note up
The
there.
46 is wrong on that. It's 49.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go.
Do it.
Okay, well, which one do you want to start with?
We're going to do with tailpipes and tacos and an RDC.
Okay, well, we're going to take this break, and I'm going to figure out what I'm doing alive. Stand by.
Tailpipes and Tacos is back. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, and it's an extra special one. Bring your hot rod classic or modern classic to compete for one of the famous chili pepper trophies and get a free breakfast taco. Just make a donation of any size to God's Garage and Lupi's will match it. You'll be helping single mothers who need a set of wheels. It's been almost a year in the making, so you won't want to miss Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, donate what you want to God's Garage, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy at 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. It's car show season, and what better way to kick it off than a free taco and camaraderie at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Proceeds benefit God's Garage.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil knows, at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
Thank you, Rodney. Welcome back to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Some of the stories making automotive news headlines. EV sales growth is stalled. This month, General Motors delayed EV pickup production, and Honda canceled a deal to build affordable EVs with GM. Ford said it's pushing back $12 billion in EV spending, reducing Mustang Mach-E production and delaying one of two planned battery plants. EV-only maker Tesla saw its revenue growth fall in the third quarter to its slowest pace in more than 3 years. Mercedes-Benz dealers complaining about slow-selling EVs piling up on their lots. It took 82 days on average to sell the battery-powered EQ models in September, according to Edmunds data. Industry-wide last month, dealers had 97 days supply of EVs, excluding Tesla and Rivian, compared with 57 days for internal combustion engine vehicles, according to Cox Automotive. Battery electric vehicles made up 7.7% of U.S. light vehicle sales in September, down from 7.8% in August, according to S&P Global Mobility. Early estimates show share declining again to 7.5% in October. U.S. new vehicle light sales forecast to rise 3 to 4% in October. So you can see there's
a lot of resistance to buying EVs.
Yeah. Well, I think that people are discovering the fact that charging is an absolute nightmare.
It's a good second car, but it shouldn't be your primary.
Correct.
Yeah, we've got trying to schedule a guest that going to talk about a report that was done and explains the three reasons for that everybody, and all three reasons everybody wants to ignore.
Slowing demand for EV has prompted GM and Ford to postpone billions of dollars in investments as the automakers decide they don't yet need additional production capacity. There's that. And here's an interesting story. Uber and Lyft will pay a combined $328 million to settle New York Attorney General's claims that the ride-sharing companies systematically cheated drivers out of pay and benefits. Attorney General Letitia James said Uber will pay $290 million and Lyft will pay $38 million to resolve her office's multi-year investigation into the companies, calling it the largest wage theft settlement in her office's history. Yikes. Uber and Lyft have long defended against claims nationwide that they shortchange drivers, many of whom are immigrants, out of pay and benefits, including refusing to classify them as employees. The payments equal a little under 1% of Uber's and Lyft's annual revenue, however. James' probe arose from concerns from the New York Taxi Workers Alliance, which says it represents about 21,000 yellow taxi, green cab, and app-based livery and corporate car drivers. Under the settlements, drivers outside New York City will receive a minimum $26 per hour during rides and for sick leave, adjusted annually for inflation. So
wow.
And that's just for New York, so you know that that's going to go nationwide. All right, time now for a quick break here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We are back right after this.
Hey, Houston, America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars. The ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics. See Lone Star Throwdowns, Texas-sized truck spread. And don't miss the traditional rod and custom section. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, see wild, high-flying freestyle motocross stunt shows. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend on the celebrity stage presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. Friday, meet AEW Tag tag team superstars, the Lucha Bros. Saturday, it's Noel G. Hector from the Fast and Furious. Sunday, it's Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 23rd through 26th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
From the Sugar Shack Studios in Texas, USA, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. And turn the page, Don.
With an international flair right now.
Yes, because we have Larry Way coming up with Autorama, who's going to talk to us about all of the details going on there. It's always good to talk to Larry. I got to drive the 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450 SUV. I'll give you my thoughts on it. Conrad has the cruise-in calendar and This Week in Auto History. And later we'll bring you the stories making automotive news headlines just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us for the last hour of our show, because it is the last hour. Mm-hmm. If you're listening to a podcast, it's only 30 minutes long, so you'll have to go to the next podcast to complete this hour on podcast. However, if you are on our live broadcast, watching live, then stay tuned. We've got a whole hour.
What
left.
happens if they want to set their clocks back now? Will they hear the 9 o'clock hour again?
Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Try to describe that.
I'm asking for Conrad.
So tonight, if you're listening on a broadcast, listening to our podcast twice, then you will find out that this is the day that we turn our clocks back. Fall back. So we gain an extra hour of bedtime. I didn't say sleep.
Well, theoretically,
Mars.
It'll work.
I'm going to talk to Larry. Y'all. I'm going to talk
Let's
to y'all.
bring Larry on.
I know
Larry just bumped off.
Oh, Larry.
Did he? No, there he is. Larry Way. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Autorama himself from Canada.
He says he can't hear us.
We can't hear you
Well,
either.
I don't know. We can't hear you either, so I don't know what's going on. But you look really good, Larry.
Yeah, you're looking sharp.
Yeah, and we see your mouth moving, so we got to be doing something right.
So let me
Mr. Mars is going to have to work on that. But at any rate, you heard the
audio.
You heard the Autorama spot.
Mm-hmm. It's an annual event here.
It is
in
an
Houston,
annual event.
Thanksgiving week.
And I have to tell you that my original Autorama was back in the day, and I'm going to basically give away my age. That's what I want to.
We give it away all the time.
I know you do. Shut up. And so it was at the Albert Thomas Convention Center, which was brand new at the time in downtown Houston, which is now that venue down there that has a Hard Rock Cafe and all that stuff. There's also a music venue that I hate, that you either stand and watch and listen, or if it's a comedy act or something, they have folding chairs down there. It's just
not what you want.
No. But at any rate, that used to be the Albert Thomas Convention Center. Were you living here then?
No, that was way before my time.
Shut up.
Way before my time.
Okay. So that was my first Autorama. And that was, I must have been 16, 17, something like that.
Well, that was back in the 60s.
1860s.
I didn't say 1860s, but that had to be back in the 60s.
Yeah. Well, it was. Okay.
So don't give me the evil eye.
I'm not getting. That's the stink
Side
eye.
of stink eye.
Okay. Now can Larry? Can you hear us?
Good morning.
Oh my God! It's a miracle. You know what? It's the border crossing of Canada.
Oh, yeah.
That's causing this interruption.
Actually, I'm in Las Vegas. I'm here.
For what show? SEMA show.
The SEMA show just ended. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about that before we came. So it ended yesterday.
Yes, it did. It was a huge success. I would say the crowd was probably 80 or 85% what we had in 2019, but it was really good.
Oh, good.
That's good to hear. What were you doing there?
Networking, representing Autorama and, shaking hands and
You don't need any help or an assistant, do you?
Maybe somebody to carry your bag.
Go the line. There's a long line.
I'm sure that there is.
But I must say, the best day I had was Friday.
Yesterday.
I spoke to Gene Winfield. His health is not what it was, and spoke to his caregiver. She said, "Would you like to come to our hotel room while Gene's having breakfast?" And I spent an hour with Gene Winfield.
Wow! Oh, that's great.
He's like a million years old.
I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. He's just so darn wonderful. We talked about all the times. I talked about Houston, Autorama. Getting a motorized scooter and going to his room and walking back with him, and all these things we did together. It was just absolutely wonderful.
That's good.
Well,
that was the best part of this whole trip for me.
Well, and Gene's definitely a legend in the custom car world.
Well, he worked with George Barris and all of the other famous car builders back in the day, and
Gene's the only one left.
Yeah, yep. And is he? So he's not very mobile anymore, but apparently he's still got his mind.
He's still got his mind. He's still making appearances. They called me last night. The caregiver called me last night. I was out to dinner with someone else. They were driving back to California because he wanted to go to a show today. So he's still making appearances.
Wow.
And just loves it. That's what he loves to do. He loves the people and he loves being with people.
And he loves talking to people. And I will tell you, if you remember correctly, and I know you do, that every time we had him on the show there at Autorama,
we got a
there was
crowd.
Always a crowd around wanting to hear everything, every
nuance
letter that he was speaking, because he's such an interesting guy that invites everybody in to talk to him, and he's just a great entertainer, not only just a talent, an incredible talent when it comes to cars.
He's and the thing, there's a lot of things I love about him, but one thing is that he shares his talent. He has workshops, and if anybody asks him questions, he shows them how to do it. And so many people do not do that in our lives, but he's done that his whole life, shared his talent with others. And he's been so generous to people. He's just an absolute wonderful man.
Well, I assume that he's not going to be at Autorama this year.
He's not going to be. Our 63rd annual Autorama is coming up Thanksgiving weekend. You can get discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts stores, and we have another great show in store.
And who are the special guests this year?
Well, we have a couple of things. We have an FMX freestyle motocross show, which a lot of our shows we can't do that in because the ceilings aren't high enough. Because they do flips and tricks in the air with their motorcycles.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. We have the Lucha Brothers. Lucha Bros, they'll call themselves. They're the AEW Wrestling Tag Team Champions. We have them Friday from 2 to 5.
Are they going to wrestle?
Probably not, but I can maybe set it up for you, Don.
No, I'm good.
My money's on the wrestlers.
Who's going to be your tag team partner?
Yeah.
Conrad.
Conrad will.
Oh, Conrad.
No, I've had 2 back surgeries. I don't need a third. Thank you.
I've had 2 back surgeries also. Well, Saturday from 2 to 5, we have Noel G. He played Hector in the Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then on Sunday, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Lou Ferrigno.
The Hulk.
Lou Ferrigno? Oh, my God, the real Hulk.
From 1 to 4 on Sunday, yeah.
I hope nobody gets him mad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a great lineup. I'm glad to hear.
Really,
Yeah. And what people don't know is, somebody's got to get these guys from the airport and bring them downtown. Guess who that guy is?
Yeah, you're talking to him. Yeah.
That'd be Larry.
I've spent so much time in airports waiting for people. I mean, traveling also, but waiting for people. They missed their flight or something's happened. And
do you have that little sign that says Mr. Ferrigno that you hold up so he gets off the plane?
I'll probably recognize him when he comes.
Well,
he'll be the guy in the ripped clothes and the green skin.
Yeah, that's it.
Are you doing the? Are you serving at the convention center for the
Thanksgiving again?
Thanksgiving event?
Funny you ask. Yes, I want to go in early. I think the first round is at 7:15, and what those people do. There's the chefs are getting ready, but they stuff bags, and as you guys probably remember, I'm a walker, so. You walk around and you'll pick up pasta and canned goods, whatever it is, and you put it in bags because hundreds of cars will line up and pick up bags of food, and most all of the people till they run out that are there for breakfast, lunch, I should say, will get a bag of food too. So it takes about an hour and a half to fill those bags. So I'm going to go in early and walk and help fill bags, and then else they want. So I'll be there for most of the day.
What a great tie-in for you and Autorama to always do that every Thanksgiving.
When it's been a few years ago, and I was watching the news Wednesday night, and they said, "Well, we're looking for volunteers." And I called Pete, who's our show manager and owns our company, and said, "We don't open till 4, and I don't have anything to do until early afternoon. Would you mind if I did that?" He says, "Oh, heavens no. That's a great thing for you to do." So I started doing it. And then every year I get an email and I sign up. And yeah, I enjoy it. And it's so nice to see so many people enjoying this. And the other things they do, like one year there was 4 ladies there cutting hair. In COVID times, they were given COVID shots, they're given flu shots, and there's videos. So there's other things, other people volunteer to do other things for them. So it's really a big deal. And of course, all the politicians come. It's a great photo op. But I think every country in the United States, every city in the United States and every city in the country of Canada should do this. It's just a huge, huge thing for these people.
Yeah, that's a tradition here in Houston.
Awful big thing to put on, but it really is something.
Yeah. So, Larry, let's talk about the Magnificent Seven, if we can, for just a second. Do we know who the Magnificent Seven are going to be yet?
No.
Tell us first of all, explain what the Magnificent Seven are, and then explain to us the method that they go to choosing these cars.
Well, we have a Millwinders Award, so it's a vehicle that's the first time shown in Houston, and it's $5,000, so it's a pretty big deal. So they go through and the not the judges, yes, but also the management together. They'll get a list of who's eligible, and then they'll walk around and they'll look at the vehicles, and then they'll sit down and have a meeting, and they'll pick 7 semifinalists, and then the judging staff will decide which is the best car, of course. And that'll happen Saturday night. Saturday, they'll probably know who that is. So
Saturday before the show.
Yeah.
No, Saturday during the show.
During the show, yes.
Saturday so the show, yeah.
It's called the Millwinders Award, which is one of the original clubs with the Houston Autorama. But it's a big deal. I mean, if the person wins best custom, he gets,
But wait, those 7 cars are up front.
Yeah.
Well, so you do this on Saturday, but they're already up front. How does that work?
No, what they do, what they'll do, they'll go through the applications and say, okay, these people are all eligible, and then what they go around and they pick the cars on Friday. They'll as they're set up, and they'll look at them and they'll get the semifinalists, and then they'll pick the top car.
Okay.
So as they register, there's something about the registration process that helps identify them. I mean,
right.
Well, first time in Houston,
right.
And it's not just the car, but you guys also judge the display as well, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So there's a separate award for the display, but a display, yes, you can win award. I think the top 10 displays get awards, or top 8. I'd have to look at my notes. There's a separate award for the displays, but the display is part of the vehicle, and it's themed to the vehicle. So that that is really important because it shows the vehicle well, and then it attracts the public, of course, and attracts the judge's eyes.
Yeah.
And do some of these cars follow your show, the Autoramas, as they move around the country?
They do. We have a championship. We have the Summit Racing Series championship, and they have to qualify. I think this year they have to go to 4 shows to qualify, and then once they qualify, they can go to they'll be invited to the championship finals. Now, the championship finals so this is the 23-24 kickoff, the Houston Autorama. The 22-23 championships will be at our show in Cincinnati, which will be the second weekend in January. So people that qualify will go to Cincinnati, though, and they'll be judged. Those cars will be judged, and they'll pick the winners. And they'll be part of our Cincinnati show, of course. But that's where it will be. That's where the 2022-2023 championship finals will be. So there'll probably be 20 or 5 or 30 vehicles. There was a time. I mean, I've been doing this for 40 years. 25, 30 years ago, we'd have 40 cars, and we had a lot of motorcycles touring, and there'd be 10 motorcycles. That was really a big deal. And these were really high-end cars. I mean, it was a time when there was more people touring. It costs a lot of money to build a car, but it costs an awful lot of money to tour.
Yes, it does. Whew.
Gas and hotels, and you go to a show, and the judges, and let's say you're in the truck category, and there's 3 of you touring. Well, I beat you 2 guys, and then the judges will say, well, this is what you need to do to your truck. So you got 2 weeks off, so you can go and you do some things, hoping to beat. So throughout the season, they're also doing things to their vehicles. Now, if it's a major thing, no, but most of the time it's not. But they'll do things to try and be more competitive. It's just ongoing. To tour a vehicle is really quite an endeavor.
So the show opens on Thanksgiving Day, Larry, and runs through Sunday. Do you have the hours in front of you?
I believe it's 4 till 8 on Thanksgiving, 10 till 10 Friday, Saturday, and 10 till 6 on Sunday.
Yeah. And do you have a full boat of entrants that are going to be there at the show?
Well, as I understand it, yes. I think they even have a standby list. So Steve Green is our show chair. No, Steve. You guys,
yes, I know Steve very well. Yeah.
Yes. He says we're full.
Very good.
And standby. So it's going to be another great show. We have Shorty's Lowrider Showcase. As you know, we have a little bit of everything. We have cars, trucks, and motorcycles, and lowriders, and we some people are partial to custom cars or street rods or lowriders, whatever it is. But we need to have something for the whole paying public, for everybody. We have something nice to see for them. So we really have a really great cross section once again. And I love the Houston show because when you walk in, it's a gigantic building, of course, but when you walk in and you see all those cars along the front, and it's so long, and it's just, it's very impressive.
And you also get to see us once a year.
You bet.
You guys, and see it broadcast live on Saturday morning.
Yeah. Well, we'll be there. And we look forward to seeing you, Larry, and it's great to talk to you, even though you're in Las Vegas. Are you going to go back to Canada today?
No, actually, well, I have a block of rooms of 27. So it's a hotel just down the street from SEMA. So everybody's tugging at me. So everybody will be gone by tonight. There's an outdoor car show we go to today, which is really quite nice. And there's a museum there. And I've never seen so many autographed guitars and so much memorabilia in my life. So we're going there today. I'm going with a couple of friends, but tonight, or by tomorrow morning, most everybody will be gone. So I'm not going home till Tuesday. So it gives me a couple of days just to relax and go for walks and just chill.
Catch your breath.
And be in the warm weather because it's cold at home.
Well, there's
hit the blackjack tables, right?
All right, so we'll see you Thanksgiving weekend, George R. Brown Convention Center, and it's Autorama.com.
Autorama.com, you get all the information.
Beautiful.
Very
Larry,
good.
it's great to talk to you.
Great to talk to all you guys. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
You got it. We'll see you then.
Thanks, Larry.
Larry Way.
Take care.
Yep, Mr. Autorama himself. All right, time now for the cruise-in calendar. And I can start off, if that's okay. May I steal one of your cruise-ins?
Steal it.
That would be the Chrome and Coffee that happens tomorrow from 9 to noon at the Avalon Diner at the Fountains out in Stafford. And let me just say this, that it's probably one of the nicest, coolest cruise-ins ever. So you get to meet up with all the cruise-in people. And it's always a bunch of different people every week. It's interesting how that all works out.
And Don will be there with his Corvette.
Hopefully.
What will Craig bring? His McLaren, maybe?
I don't know whether I don't
or
know.
something
He's got,
else.
there's
Something
no
special.
telling.
Whatever his choice
But
is.
the other nice thing about it is come hungry because you can stop there at the Avalon Diner
Absolute
and have
good
breakfast with the rest
yeah.
of us. So that's always good. And more?
Yep. So Heroes and Hot Rods is this afternoon. It's a charity car show up at 1910 Cypress Station in Houston, and it's an open car show. Taps and Turbos car show at No Labels Brewing in Katy, Texas, starts this afternoon. Again, and the Lumberton Fall Car Show, just to give an out for
Shout
Mars
out.
there in the Golden Triangle, is at the 119 Church Loop in Lumberton, Texas. And that's an open car and truck show. Your entry is bring a canned food item for donation.
Okay.
And they don't need any more beets.
I like beets. I'm a beet fan.
They taste
pickled.
Like,
You and Michael Jackson.
Pickled
they
beets,
taste
yeah.
like dirt.
You and Michael Jackson. Beat it. Beat it.
Tomorrow morning is the Woodlands Coffee and Cars for a Cause at 9595 Six Pines Drive in the Woodlands. The entry is a donation for the cause. And Pistons at the Park in Austin Park and North Pizza in Pflugerville, Texas. And then
North Pizza. Is that a street?
Yep.
It's next down the street from Pepperoni Avenue.
Pepperoni Avenue, yeah. Right there near Anchovy Way.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
And then, again, Northside Mustang Club, a shout out to you guys. I know you're listening. They're in New Caney right now at Bull Salas Park. Thanks for your support.
Okay.
The end.
The end. Back to you, Don.
Thank you so much, Conrad. All right, time now for the car review this hour. I got a chance to drive the Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. It comes in these trim levels: GLS 450, GLS 580, and GLS AMG 63. I had the GLS 450, which, according to Edmunds.com, is the most popular vehicle of the three. It's more affordable, and you'll see. It's a standard SUV, 3-row. I would not put it in the same size category, however, as the Suburban, because it's not. It's smaller. How many passengers? 6 with the driver.
2, 2, and 2.
2, 2, and 2. Exterior changes from last model year was all new for 2022. Exterior features include the understated modern design. It's classy looking with lots of windows. You can see everything. Huge grille with an oversized Mercedes-Benz badge right smack dab in the middle of it. By the way, they have different grills for different trim levels. Clean design, rear hatch with dual exhaust. The AMG has got 4 exhaust pipes on it. Big tire wheel options is beautiful. What I liked about it, the conservative elegance. I don't know how else to put it.
That's Mercedes.
Yes. What could use improvement? What's with roof racks in 2024?
Don't know.
Nobody uses them.
Never.
I don't know why they're up there.
Well, and I guess it's to give it that off-road look. Well, guess what? That look went out about 10 years ago, so stop putting roof racks on it.
Well, remember, Richard said they'll saran wrap you at the race and make you ride around on the roof.
Yeah, no, it's. I don't know. It's a no-go for me. Matter of fact, Craig hated them so bad he took them off one of his brand new vehicles that it came with and had to plug the holes. Interior highlights. The kitchen sink wasn't offered, but the interior is awesome.
That's a lot of display space on that thing.
It is.
Huge.
So it is, yes, an infotainment and dash design that is all-inclusive. One screen has instruments and infotainment that stretches half the dash. Seating has more adjustments than you can actually have by law. There's enough room in the third row, believe it or not, for 6 foot tall people.
Wow.
Yeah, we tried it out. We put my grandson back there along with his mama, my daughter, and no problem. Leg room is plentiful back there, which is surprising, actually. Cargo trunk room, big with the third row down. What I liked, the customizable ambient lighting. You want to change the color, you want to turn it on, turn it off, all of that sort of stuff, and it's pretty inside. And the sun goes down, you go, ooh, look at that. It's a Carnival.
Orange.
Yeah. What could use improvement? I don't know. It has more comfort than your living room, I think. What can be challenging, however, is the technology. Get out the owner's manual, spend at least a good hour with the owner's manual, with the car on, and you see if you can find stuff, because I couldn't find it. Oh, I'm sorry. I turned your microphone off because you were down there fumbling with your microphone and making all sorts of noise, and we could all hear all of that.
My bad.
That's yes.
I was trying to hear everything else. But anyway, what I was going to say, I had to drill down. I mean, you're right. You had to drill down into those screens to try and find stuff. It wasn't right there.
I could not find how to reset the trip meter on it.
Oh, it's down in there.
I know it is. It's down in there, but I never found it.
It's not something you could. I mean, you talk about distracted driving.
It's not intuitive.
Yes,
No.
that's exactly right. So keep that in mind. If you're a techie, you are going to love this car. I'm not a techie, but there you go. It has a 3-liter inline turbocharged 6-cylinder, and it's a mild hybrid. I'm not exactly sure what the definition of a mild hybrid is, but somehow it's a mild hybrid. 375 horsepower out of this 6-banger, 369 pound-feet of torque, and it'll get it with that 9-speed automatic transmission. That's a quote from Mars. That's the way he uses it.
It'll get it.
19 miles per gallon city, 24 highway. I got 21. I'm sorry, for a combined of 21, I got 23.7 over 373 miles. What I liked, love the inline 6 turbocharge. And
torque.
Yes, and Stellantis is going with that inline 6. Forget the V6. Let's go with the inline 6. What could use improvement? They need to disable the start-stop feature on every car that is ever produced. Just clip the wires off of there, okay?
But they do return fuel economy, and that's their reason for it.
Okay. When gas gets up to $10 a gallon, that may be important, but
that
right now
might be
it's
right
not.
around the corner.
It could very well be. Smooth. Ride and handling, well-controlled dampers. It has an air suspension. What could use improvement? Nothing. Show me the world what ride perfection is all about. This is it. This is ride perfection. This is not a race car. This is a road car. And whew, boy, is it nice. Base trim price, $87,000. Wow. Price is tested, $95,720. Okay, so what is it that costs so much money? Let me give you a couple of examples. The acoustic comfort package is $1,200. The AMG line package, not the AMG, but the AMG line package.
The appearance.
That costs $3,250. The DXI exclusive trim is $1,750. So if you want to goose it up with all of the extras, then you just go for it, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and maybe even more. Now, competitors, BMW X7 for $77,850, the Infiniti QX80, $74,150, and the Lexus LX600 costs $90,815.
So they're all in that same price range.
Yeah, a lot. That's my review of the 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLS. Open the wallet, buy it. You're going to love it, and you'll have to go to school on the tech.
So you take it back if they gave it to you again.
Absolutely. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available on over a dozen of the most popular podcast outlets. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Hey, Houston, America's greatest hot rod tradition is back. Thanksgiving weekend. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George Hart Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars. The ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics. See Lone Star Throwdowns, Texas-sized truck spread. And don't miss the traditional rod and custom section. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, see wild, high-flying freestyle motocross stunt shows. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend on the celebrity stage presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. Friday, meet AEW Tag Team Superstars, the Lucha Bros. Saturday, it's Noel G. Hector from the Fast and Furious. Sunday, it's Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 23rd through 26th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then. On the telepathically communing Smoke and Mirrors Network. Welcome to the In Real Time Car Talk Show.
No, you got to do the voice from Autorama.
All right, coming up, it's the Grand Dames of the Rebelle Rally, Mercedes Lilienthal and Emily Winslow, and they're going to talk about this year's Rebelle Rally event. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you caught up on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more, Jeff Zekin. Oh, yeah. I'm Don Armstrong. Come for your daughter,
You won't be
Chuck.
able to talk anymore the rest of the day now.
That guy put a lot of energy in that.
That or a pack of Marlboros.
Back in the day, we used to call those guys squeezers.
Oh.
Hey. You squeeze their voice like that.
Oh.
But it's different. Stands out. And that's what you want.
That's
All right.
what you want.
Let's move on, shall we? Mercedes Lilienthal and Emily Winslow. Hello, ladies. It's so good to see you.
Hello. Hello.
Well,
Thanks for having us on the show.
Hello. Okay. Were you two paired up last year?
We were.
Okay. Well, I thought that the name sounded familiar, but Mercedes, obviously, we know you, and it's good to see you without your husband for a moment. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, he's there. He's there somewhere.
He's there,
You know he's lurking around in the room somewhere. Tell him this. Tell him that. Rebelle Rally. So
He is, yes.
I don't know which one of you wants to explain to everybody what the Rebelle Rally is, but I'll let you decide that and let us know what is the Rebelle Rally.
Well, Emily, do you want to go first since the in real time crowd might not know who you are? Do you want to mention who you are and how you fit into the mix?
Yeah, so my name is Emily Winslow. Mercedes and I have been partners now 3 times in the Rebelle Rally. So basically what it is, it's off-road rally for points and time, not speed, and it's no electronics. So they lock all our electronics up. It's navigation by paper, map, compass, dead reckoning, things like that, latitude, longitude. So it's 7 days of scored competition. It starts in kind of middle of California and goes all the way down to the border of Mexico, mostly off-road in either 4x4 vehicles or all-wheel drive vehicles. And we're camping and we're driving 10 hours a day at least and just trying to find checkpoints out in the desert. So they're either green checkpoints, a big kind of flag that you know you're there. Blue checkpoints are usually kind of a 3-foot stick in the ground. And And then there's black checkpoints that there's no marker and that you hope you have navigated to the correct exact square on the ground. And you work all week to get points and see how well you can do.
I have to ask, are you allowed to use a sextant?
No, everyone asks me that. I think that's only for water. I'm not.
No. You can use a sextant anywhere. You just use it for the stars.
Well, that's what it does.
We do it during the day, so it probably wouldn't work. But
I see. All right.
So these are some of the tools you can use. So I have props with me this time, guys. So, Emily
compass.
still has a lot of my gear or her gear with me because we basically drove back from Glamis near the Mexico border, and I live in Oregon, and then she lives in Washington, and so she's got all of her Navi stuff by me, but map and compass and plotters to be able to plot on topographic maps. So. This is what she lives by and eats, breathes by, and then I have duplicates in case we run them over.
Okay,
so those are the slide rules of the Rebelle Rally.
In case you run them over.
And so, Emily, you're the navigator.
Correct. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So you don't know the route until how long before the race?
The day of. She hides it real well. I mean, we know where we start. Like we all met in Mammoth Mountain this year to do the kickoff, and we know it ends in Glamis, and that's it. So every morning at 5 a.m. you get up, and she gives you your between 20 to 30 latitude, longitude points for the day, and then I start mapping them with my rulers on any number of 1, 2, 3, 4 maps for the day, and then generally we start off the starting line around between 7 and 8 a.m. depending on what number you pulled, and then you just navigate all day with the maps, and Mercedes drives across the whatever crazy terrain we're thrown into, and you just keep going.
So how accurate are the maps? You said they're topical terrain maps, but there's good points on the map that you can say, hey, I'm in the right spot, or is this purely dead?
I mean, so generally it's either a 100,000 map or a 50,000 map. Every once in a while you'll get a 200,000, which is a very zoomed out view to kind of see if you're traveling a far way. But usually you're working on like 100,000 map with the same rulers. And she is known for she'll delete any city name. She'll delete any freeway. She'll delete anything that you could possibly know where you are if you've maybe been there before or just in general. So she doesn't care for you to know where you are by visual. She wants you to do triangulation with your compass. She wants, she always says heading and distance don't lie. So you need to know that there's, there might be a mountain over there, and where are you from that mountain? So she likes to make it a game.
Is it all female competitors?
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, because
the guys won't ask for directions.
Yeah, exactly. We start at 7 o'clock. We'd be lost by 7:15.
That's right.
Drunk.
Or drunk. One or the other. And so, all right. And you did, the only help that you had was each other.
Yes. And then any other team, if perhaps you need help. Everyone is we're all very competitive, but we all understand we're all out there. So if someone's panicked and lost, you will help them. So we are a good team. But basically it's the two of us in a car for 80 hours trying to figure it out.
And what are you driving this year?
So this year we drove, we partnered with Honda. And so we drove a 2024 Pilot Trail Sport. So it is a 3-row, 7 to 8 passenger SUV crossover.
And you have to pack everything you're going to need for that 80-hour trip in the truck?
Exactly, yes. So this was a bone stock crossover. So we were one of 3 Honda teams that were of Honda of America. And so we were the only bone stock vehicle. So all 3 were trail sports. So there were 2 pilots. One was modified with Hillary and Liz. And then there was a Passport trail sport. And that was with Serena and oh my gosh, I still have rally brain. Nicole, yes, thank you. I still have rally brain because we literally just got back a little over a week ago, and I just got back from SEMA. So the SEMA show. So I'm like totally still lacking sleep. But yes, and then we were in the only bone stock one. What we did is we took out the 2nd and 3rd row seats. So we had tons of room, and all those anchor points where the seats were, we had put in D rings. So we were able to use those as hard mount points for ratchets, for ratchet straps.
Now you say we did. I mean, are you literally like you and Andy, or you and Emily, or Honda did?
There was a shop. There was a shop down in California that did. So we worked with them, with Honda, and then they translated that information to what we wanted to have done down to that shop, and so they prepped it.
Okay.
And, and you're taking this trip, quite all of it, off the highway with factory stock production tires?
So that's a great question. So basically, there are, I believe, they're Continental all-terrain tires that come stock off the showroom floor with Honda. But what we did, since this is such an extreme off-road rally that typically lasts 8 days, 7 days of actual points counted competition, and can last anywhere from 14 to 1,500 miles. If you think about that, that's a long distance. We partnered with Maxxis tires, and so we all three teams ran Maxxis Razor all-terrains. They're thicker, they're heavier duty, and none of us had any tire flats, no tire punctures. I mean, I don't know what happened with this year's track as far as the course throughout the desert. I mean, there were dozens of tire failures. There were multiple teams that had dual tire flats at one time. It was a tire shredding year. I've never seen it. And Emily's now completed 5 Rebels. I've completed 4. We've seen nothing of it. But, you know, those Maxxis Razors, they did great. We've had 0 issues.
So let me ask you this. You're on the vehicle and there's a vehicle failure. Now, you can't have any extracurricular communication because you're on your own. How do you communicate a vehicle failure to folks around you or to come and someone's help? How does that work?
So there's a couple of different things that you can do. If you have a vehicle failure, basically you have to self-sustain. So you can bring along your own tools, your own recovery gear, your own whatever it is to fix your own vehicle parts, things like that. If you cannot fix your own vehicle, you do have a satellite phone that you can report back to base camp and say, hey, I need mechanics help. I need a tow back, things like that. There will be penalties if you do need, if you break an axle, which has happened before, if you break a control arm, if you have, you know, some type of catastrophic failure, you need a tow in or flatbed, which has happened again, things like that. You know, there was one day on, I think the tail end of day 3, beginning of day 4, again, have no idea what was on the course or what people were doing. Again, we always practice mechanical sympathy. There were 65 total teams. Over 20 teams ended up in the mechanics that night.
Oh, wow.
Over 20 teams of 65 teams. Again, thankfully with the Trail Sport, did a fantastic job, had 0 issues mechanically, that kind of thing. But over 20 teams had to visit mechanics. So sometimes you're not penalized if you can do it on your own, or if you bring it back on your own and have to visit mechanics and use their tools. But if you fix it yourself, you might not get penalized. Sometimes you do.
So no worn winches on your Honda?
Not this time. We ran bone stock. That's another great point. Not this time, but it was bone stock. So basically what we did is we just had recovery boards up on top of a roof basket and changed the tires out. But she ran bone stock off the showroom floor.
And then how many spare tires do you travel with?
So there is one factory supplied bone stock, or just one factory supplied tire that's underneath underneath the rear bumper, that's kissed kind of underneath. And we ran with the second full-size spare, which you'll see in some of the upcoming articles that I will be writing. I'm an automotive journalist. We'll get back into that in just a quick second. But we ratcheted that down in the interior. And we also had an air compressor from ARB that I brought on board, a portable one, and then a full-size ARB tire patch kit. Because we figured, of course, we brought all of that on board, we won't need it. So hence, every time we bring 2 full-size spares, tire patch kit, you'll never need it. We never have, thank goodness. So
always bring, there you go.
Rather
always
be prepared than waiting.
Be without.
Yeah.
Always be prepared.
So how'd you guys finish?
So I think we finished great. Emily, she pushed herself navigationally. Emily, why don't you talk about the wide miss penalties?
Yeah, so like I said, there's 3 different kinds of points. The black ones you can't see, so you really have to know exactly where you are and navigate there well. And then they give you kind of a range of how close you can be and still get points. And then once you're out of that, usually like 200-meter range, you start getting negative points. So historically, it's scary to try those because you've tried so hard to get your other points that you don't want to accidentally give them up. But I thought this year I would push myself a little. So I did quite a few of the blacks that I normally wouldn't do and didn't get any penalties this year. So I feel like for Navigator, that was my win.
So Rebel Rally actually has a GPS tracker on your vehicle so they can see where you're at as you're trying to get to all of these waypoints.
They do, and then you have a little handheld one that you push when you think I'm there. So you make that choice and hit that button, and if you're wrong, tough luck. Okay. So I felt very good about the navigating part of the whole thing.
Very
yes.
good.
And as far as the driving aspect of it, Emily and I came out swinging strong early on in the first part of the competition. There were 10 total crossover teams, and at our highest point, we were 5th, right behind all the professional racers and the stunt driver, which is fantastic for us, seeing as we were only one of 2 bone stock crossovers. And the only other bone stock crossover was a Ford Bronco, which is a class of itself. So we were really excited about that. This year, there was so much storm damage down near the whole entire area where we were, though. And so it was very, very difficult for all crossovers, especially for a bone stock crossover. And so I think that kind of ate up a bit of time, it slowed us down a bit because, even though the inches of ground clearance has got a lot of different off-road tuned suspension and different off-road features, great camera system, a lot of other off-road features that make it off-road capable. And how many times can I say off-road in one sentence? But make it very capable for the average consumer. It was something that was difficult for us and slowed us down, just based on the nature of all the V-notches, the washouts, the making the time to get to where you need to be. So that slowed us down a little bit. And some of the other navigational, where are we and how can we get to here and there and everything within a certain time. So we ended up slipping from 5th to 8th for a final overall. But I'm really happy with where we are, considering we are a bone stock class. We finished strong, 0 mechanical issues, 0 tire punctures, 0 flats, 0 visits to mechanics. And for me as a driver, one of my main goals was high-speed driving, getting more comfortable, and doing left foot braking. And doing that not necessarily just on obstacles and just on rocky patches, but doing it consistently.
What kind of motor did the car have in it?
Yeah, great question. So it's a 285 horsepower and it's a V6 10-speed automatic. So it's a 3.5 liter.
Okay.
And it was, I talked to the engineers with it, and regarding left foot braking, they really tuned it and worked with that whole setup to make it a lot more, a lot easier with left foot braking and a lot more to get the modulation easier and to be more intuitive. And once you got it, you just nailed it, and it became so much fun to drive. It was just great. I didn't want to hand it back.
Did you get a big trophy?
We finished, and we got a lot of dirt in our car. That's the trophy.
And what are they doing with the car? Are they going to put it on Don's used car lot now?
Yeah,
Smithsonian.
I've heard that the car will live on. I've heard that there is a Honda museum. I don't know. It said it's going to be living on. I don't know what capacity, but I'm
but
not
you didn't
sure.
see it in SEMA, though.
No, it's not at SEMA right now. It's at the Fleet Company in near Seattle area, waiting to be shipped. So it's in transit. It'll pop up, I'm sure, maybe at media events, maybe at museum.
Or a
Who
Pepsi
knows?
can.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be next year's SEMA. Who knows?
Well, it's great to talk to you, ladies. Congratulations on a job well done. And Mercedes, you and your husband, we need to talk to you two about, obviously, you've got the Rebel Rally now behind you, and see what you guys are up to.
You're fixing to do the Alaska run again, aren't you, next year?
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing the 2024 Alcan 5000 Rally. This year is the winter edition. That'll be coming up in less than 5 months, gentlemen. And we've got a very exciting announcement. We cannot say it yet, but we are just chopping at the bit to say it. Who we're going to partner with as far as the manufacturer, and hopefully in the next few weeks we will be able to announce, and it'll be fantastic. We
You
can't
should
wait.
use a convertible on that one.
Yeah. Right, exactly. For the Arctic winter, that'd be good.
Mercedes, Emily, thank you both so much for joining us today. We'll talk to you soon. Again, congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us on the show.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right, time now on the In Will Time
Fun.
Car Talk Show for this week in auto history. And Conrad has that for us. Don't you?
Yep.
Okay, well, I just needed a little verbal.
No. He was waiting on me.
In 1927, this week, Ford Model A production began. The Model A marked a significant departure from its predecessor, the Model T, but its development was not without its share of challenges, including Henry Ford's initial reluctance to embrace change. In 1935, this week, the coffin nose Cord debuted. The Cord 810 was introduced by Cord Automobile Division of Auburn at the New York Auto Show in 1935. The luxurious vehicle was the first mass-produced American front-wheel drive car with independent front suspension. The 810 and later the 812 were the first production cars with hidden headlights.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon Bering originally designed the Cord 810 as a Duesenberg, but it ultimately ended up getting a Cord badge. Cord produced only 1,174 810 units. In 1955, Studebaker released the Hawk line. It released the Hawk line in 55 as a 1956 model year vehicle. As a family sports car, the line included from the top the Golden Hawk, the Sky Hawk, the Power Hawk, and the Flight Hawk, the lowest price model. The Hawk cars succeeded the Studebaker Speedster, which were all two-door, four-seat hardtop cars. And those cars, and I don't know why, I imagine probably some because of their aerodynamics, are huge in the Bonneville. In 1957, Chevrolet Impala was announced as a 1958 model car production.
Beautiful car.
It originally only was out as a coupe and a convertible. While the Impala and Bel Air are very similar from the A-pillar forward, the two cars had structural differences from the A-pillar back. For example, the Impala had a shorter cabin and a longer rear deck lid, and that differentiation between Impala and Bel Air lasted all the way through the late 60s. In 1957, also, Toyota established its American headquarters and began the invasion of the American car market. In 1983, the first Chrysler minivans left the assembly line. Lee Iacocca and his Mustang sidekick, Hal Sperlich, found themselves kicked to the curb by Ford, and the two spearheaded the new concept car known as Carousel. When Henry Ford let them go, because they often butted heads, the design was radical and unlike anything else on the road. Iacocca and Sperlich both ended up fired from Ford and hired by struggling Chrysler Corporation. With Iacocca as the president, they released the Chrysler and Dodge minivans, which was huge successes that kind of started an industry trend.
Yes.
Back to you, Don.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show.
Tailpipes and Tacos is back. It's been a while, but the popular Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In returns to the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, and it's an extra special one. Bring your hot rod classic or modern classic to compete for one of the famous chili pepper trophies and get a free breakfast taco. Just make a donation of any size to God's Garage and Lupi's will match it. You'll be helping single mothers who need a set of wheels. It's been almost a year in the making, so you won't want to miss Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. Cruise in, donate what you want to God's Garage, and grab a free Lupi Tortilla breakfast taco. Tailpipes and Tacos only happens at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy at 703 West Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of the Katy Freeway. It's car show season, and what better way to kick it off than a free taco and camaraderie at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, November 11th, 8 to 11 a.m. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Proceeds benefit God's Garage.
Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance has the absolute best price that you will find on GM parts plus transmissions and engines. Over $25 million in parts and powertrain inventory and customer service that will be not matched by anyone in the country. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance, whether you are a drag racer, an oval track racer, a hot rodder, it matters not. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance will have the best price in the country, the best customer service, and the best delivery times that you will find on your GM parts. It can be on your dock, at your front door in a matter of days. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, GM Performance, and customer service to boot. Contact our Texas team, Gina Scheil Knowles at 713-907-0906 or Rodney Rodriguez at 512-300-4445. You will not find better service or better inventory in the country. Rogers Dabbs and GM Performance.
By the way, that's Rodney's cell phone number. So if you don't want to buy anything, just call him up at 3
Blow
o'clock.
it up.
Say
Blow
hi.
it up.
I heard your number on the radio, and hey.
Or use it and give it to
No, I was in the in-wheel time restroom and saw it on the wall.
Retail demand for new vehicles cooling, along with the temperatures outside in the wake of high interest rates and elevated prices, even as inventories and incentives rebound. U.S. light vehicle sales edged up 1.8% to 1.2 million in October, according to global data. A seasonally adjusted annual rate of sales slowed to 15.66 million vehicles, down from 15.73 in September, and the 2023 high of 16.22 million set in June. After an unprecedented increase during the pandemic, 0% financing deals have all but disappeared from the market. This story from Automotive News. The share of all loans financed at 0% hit a new low in the third quarter of this year at just 1.1%, down dramatically from a peak in the second quarter of 2020 at 24.2%, according to Edmunds. The average quarterly rate of 0% financing for the 3 years before the pandemic was 7.1%. 0% financing has also declined in vehicle categories that typically have a larger share of these deals. The share of all financing at 0% was 15% for both large SUVs and pickups in September of 2022, but it fell this September to 1% for large SUVs and 5% for large pickup trucks. But no surprise.
How's
really.
that Build Back Better working?
Yeah, not too well. Don't you think?
Nope.
I would say.
Not at 10% interest rates on cars.
And we didn't have a chance to do Hemmings.
I know. I'm disappointed.
Well, I can do a couple. 1956 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz convertible.
I think we talked about this.
50,000.
I'm talking
18.
Talking 17.
$136,500.
I didn't go over.
Here's one. 66 Chevrolet Corvette Coupe.
Big block, small block.
90 grand.
It doesn't say, but I can't
I'm
really
gonna say
see
58.
It's done. It looooks like it may be a big block.
I'm shooting for
90,820.
Got to be a big block.
Got it. I got that one.
Got to be. And a couple more. The 2004 Chevrolet SSR, one of the most disappointing vehicles known to man.
$8 grand.
No, them things are like 12, 14,000.
I'll say 11.
20,475.
Take him to dinner.
A 63 Chevy Impala, our last one, $7,900. I would get that one.
Okay.
That's the one out. That'd be the bargain. Okay, quick break now, and we're going to wrap up today's show right after this.
Hey, Houston! America's greatest hot rod tradition is back! Thanksgiving weekend! The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama at the George R. Brown Convention Center. 4 action-packed days of hot rods, customs, classics, trucks, and performance cars. The ultimate lowrider showcase. Sponsored by Shorty's Hydraulics. See Lone Star Throwdowns, Texas-sized truck spread. And don't miss the traditional rod and custom section. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, see wild, high-flying freestyle motocross stunt shows. Shop the swap meet and women's world all weekend on the celebrity stage presented by Nick's Auto Repair and Classic Car Restoration. Friday, meet AEW Tag Team Superstars, the Lucha Bros. Saturday, it's Noel G, Hector from the Fast and Furious. Sunday, it's Lou Ferrigno, the original Incredible Hulk. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Autorama. November 23rd through 26th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Discount tickets at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part of the Summer Racing Equipment Show Car Series. See Autorama.com for more info.
Houston's finest cars are invited to another Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, and you're invited too. Show off your personal pride and joy, or just stop in to see the likes of Lucid, Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari, and more. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your one-stop shop for paint detailing, coatings, window tint, clear bras, and wheel repair. The Car Social is your opportunity to get a tour of this state-of-the-art facility located at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. It all takes place Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon. This is the perfect opportunity to connect with other car enthusiasts. From BMWs to Bentleys, Corvettes to McLarens, the Car Social is a different kind of show. Talk to the owners. See Gulf Coast Auto Shield's facility. You'll be amazed. Put it on your calendar now. The Gulf Coast Auto Shield Car Social, Saturday, December 2nd, 9 to noon at 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of the Southwest Freeway. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. We'll see you then.
Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Here's your invitation to follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our stuff if you would. We'll keep you posted on all things automotive all week long. Conrad's back with the Unicorn Hunting, including new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, car, truck, and SUV goodies. You can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. We live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com.
Yep.
Every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Daily 30-minute podcasts available on your favorite streaming provider. There's a new episode every day. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our Marketing Advertising Advisor and Video Technical Director is We Need More Jeff Zekin. For Booking Agent and Car Polisher Mike Mars, Mr. Know-It-All is Royalty King Conrad DeLong. I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you'll join us for another live award-winning production of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, where we'll be at Tailpipes and Tacos, the Cruise-In, next Saturday, November 11th, from 8 to 11, weather permitting, on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Have a great weekend. We hope you'll join us again. And roll tide.